Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Now, let's talk about this because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear?
All right, good morning, everybody. What up? Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. As we head into a Tuesday in the Delaware Valley, lots to talk about. Big show today. My old buddy, who was the first morning show host on 9:50 a.m., which later gave birth to 97.5 The Fanatic. Glenn Foley, former NFL quarterback, the pride of Cherry Hill East, Boston College, the starter for the New York Jets when Keyshawn Johnson was the wide receiver. And if you remember, Keyshawn Johnson had a book that said, just throw me the damn ball or something like that. So Glenn knows about the quarterback and difficult wide receiver relationship, and he will speak about that and also what he is seeing that's going on with the Eagles offense. That is coming up around 11 o'clock. Actually, 10:55, which, Ray, it doesn't roll off of your tongue and say, coming up at 10:55, Glenn Foley. But that's what time he's going to be coming up.
Joining us near the top of the hour,
Right.
It's Glenn Foley.
As long as he texts me back, and he might have forgotten since yesterday when I texted him and said, hey, you want to come on tomorrow? So I'm confirming with him, but Glenn's scheduled to join us coming up here shortly before 11 o'clock. The dynamic between the wide receiver and the quarterback. All right, I mean, and that's the big story here on Middays with Marks. So I want to do a little bit of an investigation here, okay? And I want to get people's reactions because really, yesterday was, should AJ have said it? He shouldn't have said it. What does it do? Let's talk about that. Well, he said it. And this is the collateral damage that you get with a lot of excellent wide receivers. A.J. Brown is a beast, and he'd be a much different looking receiver if maybe he was in a different passing offense right now. But like we know that A.J. Brown is one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, right? So the question is this a big deal? And is this something that potentially could fracture the Eagles? So I want to go back, and then I want to take it to present day. I want to go back to 2023. And we know what happened. The Eagles were headed towards winning a Super Bowl. They were the favorites to go to the Super Bowl midway through the season. Jalen Hurts was playing unbelievable. They were having last-minute wins in the rain against the Bills. I remember saying, geez, this team is unbelievable. Pinch myself. And then I wanted to choke myself after the way the season ended. They totally fell apart. And most people point to, well, Brian Johnson didn't know what the hell he was doing. Nick Sirianni didn't know what he was doing. And the Eagles offense, once an adjustment was made to what the Eagles were doing offensively, mainly blitzing. They started blitzing Jalen Hurts at an alarming rate, and the Eagles had no answer. So that was coaching. That was 100% coaching. They had no answer for it. But there was more that was going on than X's and O's and the coaching. Internally, everything I had heard at the time, and this was even before the season went to hell, everything that I had heard internally, and I'm not a reporter, I'm not putting out reports and saying, according to John Marks of 97.5, the Fanatic. That's not me. I'm not a reporter. I'm never going to do that, right? Everything I had heard internally was this. Man, AJ and Jalen, their relationship is not good right now. They are not getting along. And it was never AJ's a jerk. He's the bad guy. Jalen's the jerk. He's the bad guy. It was just about AJ and Jalen are not getting along. Their relationship is really strained right now. And I heard that even when they were still winning games. And then the way the season ended, you don't go from being the top team in the NFL with a ton of talent on the team to getting absolutely smoked in the wild card round against the Tampa Bay Bucks unless there's something going on internally and those guys are ready to end the season. That was ugly, right? Thankfully, they were able to repair everything from that year. Remember, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts weren't getting along, and Nick made it a point to improve that relationship, right? Do you remember at the end of that season? You may not. Fletcher Cox came out on the record, and I believe Howard Eskin reported this, that Fletcher Cox had said that he was not happy with Jalen Hurts' behavior at the end of 2023, in particular on the sideline, and how he handled the whole situation. Remember, Jalen was just sitting over on the bench by himself, not talking to anybody. And I think for an average Eagle fan, they'd say, well, stop trying to stir the pot, Johnny Marks. Like, they're 4-0 right now. They're fine. There was nothing to it. That's fake news, right? That's fake news. Well, in 2023, it wasn't fake news. In 2024, what happened? Well, they won the Super Bowl at the end of the year, but we had the A.J. Brown, what's wrong? The passing offense is what's wrong. He didn't say Jalen Hurts. He didn't single out the quarterback, but everybody assumed that's where he was going because the passing offense sucked. And then the next day on Monday night on his radio show, my friend Brandon Graham was asked about it. And BG, not realizing what he was, probably not realizing what he's doing, he had more or less said, yeah, they're not friends anymore. Yeah, like they got to handle their business. This can't be personal. They got to handle their business. And you know what happened after that? It created a huge bleep storm, and then everybody had to answer questions. And then the next day, Brandon had to backtrack and say, I was actually wrong. I misspoke. I just assumed that they weren't friends. Why would you assume they're not friends anymore? But they used to be best friends. And he had even said in the comments their relationship changed over the years, as often happens in life, right? So Brandon backtracked the next day. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And anybody with half of a brain should realize that there were issues internally with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. But can they be professionals about it? And is this something that flares up when things aren't going great, but for the most part, professionally on the field, they're fine? And I think that that's where we are, and that's where we were last year. Passing offense sucked. The next game, Jalen Hurts came out. They looked great against the Steelers, and then the rest is history. They won the Super Bowl. So what happens after 4 games? Team's 4-0. AJ hasn't complained publicly, but everybody knows what the tweet meant. The tweet was directed just to Jalen Hurts. I don't know if it was just to Jalen Hurts, but I think you're in denial if you don't think that, at least in part, Jalen Hurts isn't a big part of the tweet. And maybe it's Patulo, maybe it's Nick Sirianni, maybe it's all of those things. So let's hear what Jeff McClain said. So Jeff McClain comes out this morning and let's do what he said this morning with John and Andrew. He says this morning the following about the tweet after the game, A.J. Brown.
I spoke to a couple sources because I wasn't sure what, of course I'm going to try and follow up on what's this mean sort of thing. And it's definitely something that's directed internally, but I don't know specifically who that is.
So Jeff McClain doesn't specifically know. He said this morning, who it is. Well, Jeff McClain on his podcast yesterday had this to say about the same thing.
Other times, maybe I think he's looked a little disinterested in some of the routes he's run, which he shouldn't be doing. He should be running all of them for the love of the game. But I do think that it's quite possibly Jalen Hurts who his tweet was directed at. I think the whole kind of like best friends thing has been overplayed. And maybe at one point they were close, and just now that they play together, it's not as close. It's, it happens. Hey, they're kind of like bros too. I think there's definitely brotherly love and hate involved there as well.
So here's the reality. I don't care if they're best friends anymore. If they were best friends before, I don't care if they're best friends right now. Can they have an effective working relationship? Because anybody, and if you put beat writers on a lie detector, I would be surprised if any of them, when being asked if A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts get along, if any of them would say yes. And it's not necessarily something that anybody wants to come out and say, but it's still the same thing that I'm hearing now is what I heard in 2023, that there is a strain in their relationship. Last year, it didn't matter. I think when things are good, things are good. When things are bad, this is what happens. But is it a big deal? 610-632-0975. Marks in the middays, or middays with Marks Ray, whatever you want to call it. At least I'm calling it close to I didn't call it the show that I used to work on, which I did twice yesterday. 610-632-0975. Is it a big deal? A.J. Brown said it. Now, everybody's going to have to talk about it. The coach was asked about it yesterday. We'll play that. The offensive coordinator, Kevin Patulo, speaks today. We'll have it for you on the Fanatic. He's going to be asked about it. Jalen's going to be asked about it. AJ's going to be asked about it. Jordan Mailata's going to be asked about it. Everybody's going to be asked about it, and they're going to have to answer. But is this a big deal? 610-632-0975. Glenn Foley, his insights on that later this hour. But Chad Ochocinco tried to justify A.J. Brown's side of the tweet. We had that audio for you coming up right after this. Middays with Marks.
Philadelphia is a sports city.
You have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. If this would have been, well, they beat the Browns. All right. Oh, well, they beat the Giants with Russell Wilson as quarterback. All right. They played a bunch of bottom feeders. Okay, then I'd be like, you know what? You're not going to beat the good teams like this. You're not. They just beat the good teams. They just beat the Rams that had every reason to come in here with revenge on their minds, a physical team, a good team. They just beat the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So to act like that this 4-0 start isn't impressive, this is a very impressive 4-0 start. And if you're looking at it, oh, but you can't do this the whole season. You're not going to be able to win games like this. They just won games like this all last season. I heard the same thing last year. But look at the record. Look at the other teams, the good teams in the NFL. Who are the good teams? The Ravens. Uh-oh. They got smoked by the Chiefs. The Chiefs, in some of the years that they won Super Bowls, you're not going to come out and click on offense every year, every quarter, every half. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you can't demand more from your offensive coordinator, from your offense. But realistically, man, I feel great. I'm back on the Fanatic. Middays with Marks. Everything's good. I have as much confidence in them winning a World Series as I guess I could possibly have because it's tricky. We've seen the Phillies 2 years ago go from historic hitting, and then the last couple games against the Diamondbacks, they couldn't hit anything. And they ended up losing a series. They couldn't win a game at home to go to the World Series, right? So outside of that, I'm as confident as I can be. The Phillies have as good of a chance to win a World Series this year as anybody in baseball. I couldn't feel any better about the Phillies than I do right now. And that doesn't mean like I'm overly confident. Let me put my chest out. Phillies are winning the World Series. I felt like that about the Eagles this year. Last year, I don't feel like that about the Phillies right now. But it's best case scenario. It's like, yeah, the Phillies are a good team. Let's see what happens in October. It's tough.
Yeah, best case, I guess, in terms of what you believe internally, I don't think they got the best path of what they have, just because the Dodgers obviously sit there in a 5-game series against you, and the Reds, sneaky good pitching staff. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about them hitting off of you, but I could see that staff giving you problems in the postseason. I would have loved what the Brewers have waiting for them, one of the Cubs or the Padres, just given I don't think they've played their best baseball as of late. The Reds kind of snuck their way in, and maybe there's something there with the team from the NL Central that sneaks its way in late in the playoff picture that I have PTSD going back to 2011. But best case in the way I feel about the group, sure.
Sounded like an old ass man, Ocho Cinco. What does he have, a cold? How was that?
He's emotional. Seeing AJ not get the ball.
So everything that he said right there, for the most part, I had said yesterday. That he was reading a book on the sideline. He's very emotional. And nobody should be surprised that he feels a certain way after. Like, all the fans feel like the passing game sucks. The wide receiver feels like the passing game sucks. And instead of coming out after the game and having a temper tantrum or melting down, he doesn't talk to the media because that's what he's going to end up doing. And he puts out a tweet. All else being equal, of course, you don't want the tweet to come out. Like, you don't want him to do that. You just want him to bite his lip like Devontae Smith and go home and then show back up, not say anything, right? That ain't A.J. Brown, folks. It's not. So if he has to put out a Bible verse after a game to make him feel better so he doesn't explode, he needs to come in. They report back today. They get to practice. They get ready for the game on Sunday. And he needs to come in and be cool. That's all he needs to do. He needs to be cool. He can't disrupt the chemistry of the team. Can't. And last year, honestly, if you look at the pivot point of the season to where it felt like that they really became that force that won the Super Bowl, was after the passing game. What's wrong with the offense right now? The passing game. That's when it felt like there was a rally point, a pivot point on the season. So, like, I so don't care about A.J. Brown putting out a tweet, and it puts his teammates in a bad spot to where or like an uncomfortable spot to where they have to answer it. Guess what, everybody? This is the NFL. This stuff happens all the time. You know what you fight about in the NFL? Money, contracts, stuff like this. And they're professionals, and they're used to it. Coaches with Micah Parsons or other players that are holding out. Andy Reid's had to do it multiple times. These are things you have to deal with in the NFL. Like, I'm not even going to call A.J. Brown a diva wide receiver. He hasn't shown any diva tendencies. This isn't T.O. This isn't somebody this isn't George Pickens where he's not trying on the field like he did last year in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, of course you'd rather A.J. didn't put the tweet out, but what does it matter? He put the tweet out. I'd rather him do that, and that being an outlet for it getting off his chest, and he can kind of reset, and then when he comes back in, everything's good. So I actually don't think this is a problem. If the quarterback and the wide receiver and whatever else is going on, because Jeff McClain said that it's not just directed at Hurts, and then on his podcast he said he thinks the tweet may have been directed at Hurts. So which one is it? Did the Eagles talk to him after he said, I think the tweet may have been directed at Hurts? I mean, I know if I was the Eagles, I would tell Jeff McClain that. Doesn't necessarily make it so. Last year, they were able to coexist, and they won a Super Bowl. The only thing that is going to derail the Eagles this season from getting back there is major injuries and chemistry issues. You can't have a locker room that is divided. And in 2023, it seemed like there was some divide. There was some stuff that was going on in there. You can't have it. You can't. So is it a big deal? I mean, yeah, potentially, yes. Potentially, of course it's a big deal. But it needs to be taken care of. And I think what the Eagles learned, and I'm talking about Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, the entire staff, is that, all right, we need to address this right away. We need to get in front of it, and it needs to be nipped in the bud. Hopefully that's happened. And you know how you do that? From a coaching standpoint, you fix the friggin' passing offense and you get these guys going. That's really what they need to do. If you do that, if this offense is having big plays, everything takes care of itself. But when they're struggling, this is when this stuff happens. It happened in 2023. It happened last year, and it's already happening again this year. These are standard things that happen in the NFL. When you're a high-profile team, when you're the best team in the NFL, when you're coming off a Super Bowl, not everybody's Bill Belichick Patriots with Tom Brady where everything's milquetoast and vanilla. That's not the way it normally is. So these are going to be the things that you need to contend with. Guys are champions. They get big contracts. They get big endorsement deals. People change a little bit with money and fame and stuff like that, and with ego. So that's something you're going to have to deal with, and I have zero issue with A.J. Brown sending that tweet. Because you know what? If he does that, then I think he's going to come back in and he's going to handle his business, the coaching staff. It's their job to get this offense going, and that'll take care of everything else. Let's go to Greg. Greg's calling from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Greg, good morning. What up?
Morning, guys. Welcome aboard, John. I wonder, we don't know if A.J. Brown has been saying things behind the scenes internally for 3 weeks and finally got fed up with things and felt like this was his outlet to make a crap storm. That's one thought. And the other thing I was encouraged by was Sirianni's comments where he was critical, I thought, of the play calling. Normally he doesn't do that. And so the fact that he recognizes that that's an issue, I think, is a good thing.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, it's all about stuff is going to happen. It's all about how you handle it. And they've had some experience, Greg, handling it. And you know what? You're right, because I think fans appreciate and players appreciate when instead of the coach giving you the standard coach speak and not giving anything to it, they know they need to do better. They need to do better. Straight up, they know that, and that's good. And the fans know that as well. So 4-0, the last thing you would want to hear is, well, we're 4-0, like everything's fine. And I appreciate it, Greg. When Brian Kelly of LSU went nuts on a reporter for asking about their offense and why they couldn't get it going, and it was after a win. It was after a win where who did they even beat in that game? But it wasn't a great win, and they were lucky to have won the game. The other team turned the ball over a couple of times. They couldn't run the ball. Their offense looked terrible. And Brian Kelly went nuts because we won the game. They came out the following week, and they lost, right? So if your team's good. If your offense is good right now. The Eagles' offense right now isn't consistent enough. It's not good. Coming up, we have some of the text line. We have some phone calls as well on this. But also, the world of absurdity with A.J. Brown being on the move. Stephen A. Smith's take on the tweet is coming up next, right here. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Talking tweets, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles improved to 4-0 on Sunday, but talk on Monday surround a cryptic tweet from A.J. Brown after the game. The team didn't complete a pass in the second half, and the team's top two receivers finished with 4 catches for 36 yards. So he took to Twitter, and Sirianni was asked about that tweet specifically and Brown's desire to still be a member of the Eagles.
He wants to contribute into these wins, and he's had a couple games where he hasn't been able to, and for different reasons of why we haven't in these games. But I question nothing about his desire to play great football, his desire of being a good teammate, his desire to be here.
We'll speak to former NFL quarterback Glenn Foley coming up at 10:55 about that quarterback wide receiver dynamic. And Inside the Birds, Jeff Mosher will join us coming up at 12:55 to talk all things Eagles. Wildcard Series gets started today with Dodgers and Reds matched up for a 3-game set starting night at 9 o'clock. Winner of that series comes to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday for the start of the NLDS. This update is brought to you by Audible. Stuck in traffic? Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane, satisfy every side view with rom-coms, romantasy, and the really steamy stuff. Listen free with a 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
you have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. If this would have been, well, they beat the Browns. All right. Oh, well, they beat the Giants with Russell Wilson as quarterback. All right. They played a bunch of bottom feeders. Okay, then I'd be like, you know what? You're not going to beat the good teams like this. You're not. They just beat the good teams. They just beat the Rams that had every reason to come in here with revenge on their minds, a physical team, a good team. They just beat the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So to act like that this 4-0 start isn't impressive, this is a very impressive 4-0 start. And if you're looking at it, oh, but you can't do this the whole season. You're not going to be able to win games like this. They just won games like this all last season. I heard the same thing last year. But look at the record. Look at the other teams, the good teams in the NFL. Who are the good teams? The Ravens. Uh-oh. They got smoked by the Chiefs. The Chiefs. In some of the years that they've won Super Bowls, you're not going to come out and click on offense every year, every quarter, every half. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you can't demand more from your offensive coordinator, from your offense. But realistically, man, I feel great. I'm back on the Fanatic. Middays with Marks. Everything's good. I have as much confidence in them winning a World Series as I guess I could possibly have because it's tricky. We've seen the Phillies 2 years ago go from historic hitting, and then the last couple games against the Diamondbacks, they couldn't hit anything. And they ended up losing a series. They couldn't win a game at home to go to the World Series, right? So outside of that, I'm as confident as I can be. The Phillies have as good of a chance to win a World Series this year as anybody in baseball. I couldn't feel any better about the Phillies than I do right now. And that doesn't mean like I'm overly confident. Let me put my chest out. Phillies are winning the World Series. I felt like that about the Eagles this year. Last year, I don't feel like that about the Phillies right now. But it's best case scenario. It's like, yeah, the Phillies are a good team. Let's see what happens in October. It's tough.
Yeah, best case, I guess, in terms of what you believe internally, I don't think they got the best path of what they have just because the Dodgers obviously sit there in a 5-game series against you, and the Reds' sneaky good pitching staff. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about them hitting off of you, but I could see that staff giving you problems in the postseason. I would have loved what the Brewers have waiting for them, one of the Cubs or the Padres, just given I don't think they've played their best baseball as of late. The Reds kind of snuck their way in, and maybe there's something there with the team from the NL Central that sneaks its way in late in the playoff picture that I have PTSD going back to 2011. But best case in the way I feel about the group, sure.
You have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. This
is the reality about A.J. Brown. Like any receiver, this brother is ultra talented, and he's a Super Bowl champion. And he knows they're not utilizing him properly collectively as an offensive system, schematically and beyond. And A.J. Brown is basically letting you know, I want up out of here. Now, here's the question for the Eagles, and I'll pass it on to both of y'all. Do you hold on to him because you're trying to repeat as champions? Or do you sit up there and deduce that maybe, just maybe, he's getting a bit demonstrative early, and we might want to get him up out of here?
Stephen A. Smith, assuming on First Take. We're back. It is Middays with Marks. Yeah. So they're not going to move on from him during the season. And I don't have the cap ramifications in front of me. Maybe Ray knows it. Or, like, it's one of these things where somebody that isn't plugged in and isn't local will say something. And it'll be like, yeah, but they take an $80 million dead cap hit to trade him. So that's not something they can do. Cowherd has like said it. It's like, well, they're not going to trade him right now. They can't, right? I don't know what would happen in the offseason if they would trade him. But I do think, and this isn't a discussion right now because they need him this year. As much as they're not using him right now, or he's not being utilized properly, a lot of people feel like right now, it doesn't mean that they won't get there. Guys, we're only 4 games into the season. A.J. Brown's allowed to be frustrated. We're 4 games into the season. What you're seeing right now better not be happening in Week 8 or Week 12. This team most likely is going to be 8-0 entering the bye week if you look at their next 4 games. We'll see what happens with the Broncos. I wasn't very impressed with the Broncos, but they're a talented team. And that's coming up this week, this Sunday. But, I mean, I think we can at least kind of look at it right now and say, all right, well, if they're going to continue to run this boring but effective high school Harry offense that they're just running the ball with Saquon Barkley, why the hell you need to pay 2 wide receivers $30 million a year? You don't. I mean, you're talking about allocating, even with the Eagles paying everybody and Jeffrey Lurie being willing to guarantee contracts, and in doing that allows you to pay everybody because you just then rip up the contracts and redo them and redo them and redo them and keep giving new guaranteed money and bonus money and things like that. But why would you want 2 wide receivers making $30 million a year if you're not going to throw the ball? I think the idea is that they want to be able to throw the ball more. It's just right now this is their best path to winning. But, like, would I be surprised in the offseason if this continues that A.J. Brown would want to get out of here? No, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not expecting that. I'm not looking at that right now. Like, Stephen A. talking about he's going to want to get on up out of here right now. It's like that's not going to happen this season. It's not going to happen for a number of different reasons. Even financially with the cap, if they were able to do it and they wouldn't take penalties, why would you get rid of A.J. Brown right now? Like, come on, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid to say. Their depth at wide receiver ain't great to begin with. So if A.J. or Devontae Smith goes down, now you have Dotson that has to play, and John Mechie actually had some run in the last game. But, like, that's a nothing burger. Stephen A. Smith saying, oh, well, he might want to get up on out of here. That's a nothing burger. But if the offense continues to not look great, and at least according to A.J. Brown's eyes, yeah, like, it could happen in the offseason. It could. Ray, what do you think about all this, dude? Because, like, I mean, I can tell you right now that this is something that needs to be monitored for sure. But last year, it didn't cause anything to completely blow up. It didn't.
No, this right now is, hey, don't forget about me. Hey, don't forget about me. Hey, don't forget about me. And I don't know if he thinks that forcing them to answer questions this week about his role even more is going to be the way he gets more involved to this offense. I'm still trying to find the proper motive here because I don't think he's a dumb guy. And we talked about it yesterday in the way that he always presents himself as, I am a journalism major. I was one at Ole Miss. I know what goes into what you guys do in the media. He always loves to remind us of that when he does something like this, when he doesn't talk to the media, when he posts something about it. So his way of trying to manipulate this to make something happen is still what I'm trying to galaxy brain over here and figure out just exactly what he wants the ball more. But what does he think is the better solution here? Does he really think that this is the best possible way to get the football? Because to me, it looked like after they missed him on that deep ball, that series where they come out and throw to him 3 straight times was, all right, damn, AJ, here's your targets. Take your targets. Go make something happen. Because that's what that felt like. That series felt like, wow, AJ's upset on the sideline, and now they need to just make sure they get the ball to him. Those 9 targets are a little inflated because a lot of those passes weren't great passes to him. But, man, like, I get it. You want the football. Isn't last year a good showing to you that even when it doesn't look like it's going well for you, you're going to figure it out because this offense is too damn talented not to?
But he's also he's living in the moment, right? Like what you're insinuating is it's calculated because he had said he's a journalism major. I don't think it was calculated at all. He puts out a heart emoji with a bandage around it. This dude is dying inside that he's not able to be the A.J. Brown, the star wide receiver. I literally think he's dying inside, and it's killing him. And so 5'10", the bandage heart tweet, which is a little bit too much, right? And then the Bible verse. I think, honestly, A.J. Brown is such an emotional player, and he has this emotional intelligence about him to where a lot of people thought early because it's like, well, he's just another diva wide receiver. He's really not. He really is. He's an interesting guy, and I think he's a really good guy too. So I'm honestly not going to criticize AJ at all for this. I think this is his way of dealing with it. If you believe he reads that stupid book on the sideline to calm himself down, you bought the book.
I did.
All right.
I've lived a whole new life.
So if I
found my inner excellence, John.
He's obviously either a major drama queen, which I don't believe that he is, or he has ways of dealing with things so he doesn't explode. And his way of dealing with things was, I'm not going to talk to the media because I'm going to say something stupid. I'm going to put out a couple tweets, and I'm not going to say anything else. He hasn't been back on Twitter saying anything else. He hasn't been subtweeting or doing anything like that. So unfortunately, when you get players like this that are so talented, this often comes with the territory. But do I worry about the relationship with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown? Yeah, of course I do. Because we've already seen multiple times where it's kind of come to a point where it's like, all right, where are we going from here?
And that's the thing with the tweet, though. It might be the way that he shows his emotion, but how does Jalen react to 5 o'clock on Wednesday, the entire press waiting there to talk about his relationship with AJ? Like, isn't that exhausting for him?
I don't think it's going to make him any more bubbly when talking to the media.
I didn't think we were going to get a fun 2-minute anecdote about being best friends, but it's exhausting.
I honestly don't I don't think anything phases Jalen. And that's the other thing. Like, I can't get in that dude's head. He is I don't know, man. Jalen Hurts.
That's the funny thing that makes me chuckle.
Yeah, he never seems to take joy in anything, which is fine because they win. That's all that you want. I mean, they've won 20 of 21 games. So it's hard to criticize Jalen Hurts for anything, and I don't think he should be criticized. But relationships are complicated sometimes. And when you're talking about, especially in football, two alpha male, great players, sometimes you're going to butt heads. All right, coming back, we have calls and texts on this. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We'll tell you about Glenn Foley, scheduled to join us before the top of the hour. He used to play with Keyshawn Johnson. What will he say about this? An update on that coming up right after this. Middays with Marks. Don't go anywhere.
The Fanatic's Andrew DiCecco.
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way.
Well,
now, let's talk about this because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bowe, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
While, we have you here, you're not naive to the conversation following last season and the way that everyone, the frustrations around this city following the team last season. If you had the opportunity to address the fan base the way you have right now, where, you're live on the radio, what would you want to say to the fans of this city and the people of this city as it relates to the upcoming season?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, man, one, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate every fan that shows up. We appreciate every fan that loves us, that criticizes us. My biggest thing is, for us, we have for me to give y'all outlook or give y'all hope, I'll say come look at the VJ Edgecombs, come look at the Justin Edwards, come watch the Bonus, come watch the Trendins, come watch these new guys who y'all haven't seen before. And then you also have superstars as far as Paul George and Joel, you know what I mean? And little old me, I'll be there too. And we're always going to go out there and play our hardest. I can guarantee you that.
On 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, give a little recap coming up next segment. One show down. How many more to go, Ray Dunn?
1,000, I think, at least, right?
Well, I need at least 10 years.
That's got to be more than 1,000. 2,000?
So 48 weeks a year, 5 shows a week times. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot.
Not math guys.
No, I used to be before I have CTE for different reasons than Glenn Foley may. And I say that not being funny, but Glenn Foley was a quarterback, and he was a quarterback in the NFL and in college and in high school where concussions weren't looked at the same way it is right now. He took, and Glenn's not, he was never, he's 6 foot, soaking wet, you know what I mean? So it's he had adequate size to be an NFL quarterback and to be a really good college quarterback. I think he was 5th in the Heisman his senior year at BC. But he is not joining us this morning. And at the start of the show, I had worried that I hadn't heard from him because he texted me back. He's like, well, I'm driving right now. I don't want my signal. The signal may not be good because he's down in the Baltimore area this morning. So I had said, listen, are you home the next couple days? We can get you on. We don't have to do it today. He's like, well, I can do 2:00. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's a problem because 2:00 we're not on there. So Glenn will not be joining us coming up, but he's going to join us tomorrow.
Well, another guy comes up at 2:00 that will tell you about his football career, I'm sure.
Yes, 2:00 with Bill Colarulo?
Yeah.
Did he have a football career?
He did. He'll be the first to tell you.
Yeah, so, anybody that played high school football that wants to tell me about it, I don't have a lot of interest.
Whoa. He played Division III football. Don't sell him short.
Did he play college football?
He did.
How did I not know that?
Oh, no way.
Was he a safety?
No, he was, I believe, a defensive end and a tight end.
A defensive end and a tight end, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, returned 1 kickoff. We found the stats at one point from Gettysburg. We did at one point. It was a deep dive back here. Our research department really got into it. It takes a lot to find it.
You just Google, and then it comes up.
No, you would think. Oh. Well, the Stars, when you Google them, you can find their stats easily. We had to dig a little bit deeper.
That wasn't Bill.
No.
How many career sacks did he have?
I think 1.
Nice.
I think he might have had 1 in there.
1 more than me.
Hey, 1 more than me too.
But that's all right because in lieu of talking to Glenn, I had a lot of reaction from the first show, so I just want to talk about the first show. And then we have a lot more Eagles to talk about and some Phillies as well. Listen, the wild card games start today. There's 4 of them. Today and tomorrow, 4 games, all at the same time, starting at 1 o'clock all the way to night. And I may not watch a lot of Major League Baseball during the regular season outside of the Phillies. I'll be locked in today to these games. I'm looking forward to it. So save that for. We'll do that coming up here. We had Vic Fangio at about 11:30, and then Kevin Patulo, the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, in the 12 o'clock hour. he's going to be asked a lot of tough questions today because obviously the offense is a major stress for fans and media right now. So Patulo's going to have to answer about A.J. Brown. He's going to have to answer about the Eagles' offense. He's going to have to answer about Jalen Hurts. He's going to have to answer about his own role in all of this. So that's coming up in the 12 o'clock hour, so don't go anywhere. I can't wait to hear what that sounds like. Let's take a phone call here. And then we have some texts as well on the A.J. Brown situation. Nick is calling from Ewing, New Jersey. Nick, good morning. How are you?
Yes, good morning. Good morning, John. Appreciate your voice and on this situation. So, first of all, I just wanted to say this whole A.J. Brown situation, I know the team is 4-0. We already know that. But at the same time, it's kind of reminding me of a flashback, Terrell Owens versus Donovan McNabb. And we already know how that went, right? And A.J. Brown is not a diva receiver. Like, he doesn't carry himself that way. Like, if that's the case, A.J. Brown would be doing push-ups and sit-ups in the driveway being interviewed by reporters. He's not that type of guy. So I think this will be fixed, like, in the meantime, because I think him and Jalen Hurts are too, pivotal for this offense to be blown up, So I think, they're both important to each other. And they're both important to this offense. So, like, and we've seen the best receivers on multiple teams. Like, if you look at it, Stephon Diggs, right? He was upset in Buffalo. A.J. Brown is not a Stephon Diggs.
No.
He doesn't have that type of demeanor. He's not an Antonio Brown. He's not that type of demeanor. He's not, going on social media like that at all. So this was a shock to me, like, that he's really – upset with the offense. He's not getting a lot of touches. And I do get it. It's the league and, everybody's going to be upset. But at the same time, I think this will be fixed more than what people in the media think it won't be.
Well, here's how it gets.
I don't know if you agree about that.
Well, here's how it gets fixed, Nick. I appreciate it. They fix the problems. That's how it gets fixed. Fix the offense. Let's have the passing game more consistent. A.J. Brown needs the ball. They tried. Unfortunately, they tried to force it. I watched I don't remember who put it out. But it was someone tweeted out a video of all 9 A.J. Brown targets. And here's what you notice. I saw a lot of people in the replies saying, oh, well, he wasn't open. Yeah, but, like, this isn't college football being open where you're open by 4 yards. This is you have a step on somebody, and when the ball goes in the air, that's when you turn on the jets. And A.J. Brown's a physical wide receiver. You're putting the ball up there so he can make a play. You don't have to. He doesn't have to be 3 feet open to get the ball. What I saw was the ball's being delivered a little bit late. Jalen is more of a I'll throw to the open receiver or I'll throw to you than throwing to a spot before the guy's out of his break. He doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. He's not a rhythm passer like some players in the NFL. Jared Goff will throw the ball to a spot before the wide receivers even out of their break. That's not what Jalen does, and that's not to rip Jalen. I'm just being honest. So balls were a little bit late getting out, which meant the defensive back was able to come up and defend it. And on at least two of the deep balls, they were bad throws. Jalen didn't throw the ball well in the second half. I mean, that's fairly obvious that he didn't. But even the shorter routes, the one catch that A.J. had for a first down was not a well-thrown ball either. He had to really muscle. It was behind him. He had to muscle it. A lot of wide receivers don't make that catch because it was being contested. So what fixes it is the offense being fixed to the liking of A.J. Brown and the rest of the players on the offense. So give me a text, Ray. Give me a text on what we have on AJ.
All right, unnamed texter here. I hate myself for saying this, but A.J. Brown is becoming a problem. While it's somewhat understandable, all he does is complain. He's clearly not happy here. Regardless of the team's success, he keeps making it about him. I know he's competitive, and I know he's a top 3 receiver in the league, but the Eagles aren't passing the ball anyways. Why not ship him off somewhere and get an early round draft pick or maybe even the CB2 we desperately need? The distractions from A.J. Brown have been consistent. I fear it may be time to let him go and be a more productive player somewhere else.
I think you're overreacting to how much of a problem A.J. Brown is. He really hasn't said anything. He tweeted something out that we know what it is. But anyway, coming up. All right, did we get a Marconi off of day one? That's my question out there to the people. And also, listen, we can throw it to the people. 610-632-0975, because this is supposed to be the people's show. Middays with Marks. 610-632-0975. More Eagles phone calls, your thoughts on the show. I'll give you my reaction to the first show. And Vic Fangio and Kevin Patulo talking about all the Eagles drama coming up next hour. It's Middays with Marks. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Talking tweets. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles improved to 4-0 on Sunday, but the talk on Monday surrounded a cryptic tweet from A.J. Brown after the game. Of course, this comes after the team didn't complete a pass in the second half, and the team's top two receivers finished with 4 catches for 36 yards in that win. Sirianni was asked Monday about the tweet and Brown's desire to still be a Philadelphia Eagle.
He wants to contribute into these wins, and he's had a couple games where he hasn't been able to, and for different reasons of why we haven't in these games. But I question nothing about his desire to play great football, his desire of being a good teammate, his desire to be here.
We'll speak to Inside the Bird and Phillies Voices Jeff Mosher coming up at 12:55 about the Eagles and, of course, this A.J. Brown situation. The Wild Card Series gets started today with the Dodgers and Reds matched up for a 3-game series, best of 3 series, starting tonight at 9 o'clock. The winner of that series will come to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday for the start of the NLDS. This update is brought to you by ParkWiz. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead. Save up to 50% and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app and save when you park. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
You have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. If this would have been, well, they beat the Browns. All right. Oh, well, they beat the Giants with Russell Wilson as quarterback. All right. They played a bunch of bottom feeders. Okay, then I'd be like, you know what? You're not going to beat the good teams like this. You're not. They just beat the good teams. They just beat the Rams that had every reason to come in here with revenge on their minds, a physical team, a good team. They just beat the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So to act like that this 4-0 start isn't impressive, this is a very impressive 4-0 start. And if you're looking at it, oh, but you can't do this the whole season. You're not going to be able to win games like this. They just won games like this all last season. I heard the same thing last year. But look at the record. Look at the other teams, the good teams in the NFL. Who are the good teams? The Ravens. Uh-oh. They got smoked by the Chiefs. The Chiefs, in some of the years that they've won Super Bowls, you're not going to come out and click on offense every year, every quarter, every half. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you can't demand more from your offensive coordinator, from your offense. But realistically, man, I feel great. I'm back on the Fanatic. Middays with Marks. Everything's good. I have as much confidence in them winning a World Series as I guess I could possibly have, because it's tricky. We've seen the Phillies 2 years ago go from historic hitting, and then the last couple games against the Diamondbacks, they couldn't hit anything. And they ended up losing a series. They couldn't win a game at home to go to the World Series, right? So outside of that, I'm as confident as I can be. The Phillies have as good of a chance to win a World Series this year as anybody in baseball. I couldn't feel any better about the Phillies than I do right now. And that doesn't mean like I'm overly confident. Let me put my chest out. Phillies are winning the World Series. I felt like that about the Eagles this year. Last year, I don't feel like that about the Phillies right now. But it's best case scenario. It's like, yeah, the Phillies are a good team. let's see what happens in October. It's tough.
Yeah, best case, I guess, in terms of what you believe internally, I don't think they got the best path of what they have, just because the Dodgers obviously sit there in a 5-game series against you, and the Reds' sneaky good pitching staff. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about them hitting off of you, but I could see that staff giving you problems in the postseason. I would have loved what the Brewers have waiting for them, one of the Cubs or the Padres, just given I don't think they've played their best baseball as of late. The Reds kind of snuck their way in, and maybe there's something there with the team from the NL Central that sneaks its way in late in the playoff picture that I have PTSD going back to 2011. But best case in the way I feel about the group, sure.
It is Middays with Marks on 97.5 Fanatic. I'm your host, John Marks. Ray, dun, 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 dun. You know what that is? From? It's the Tums commercial. See, you're too young. You're not going to get any of my references. And that's what's going to make it so fun.
Yeah, no, I really recognized the tune, and I had no idea where it was.
It's from Tums.
I'm too young to be taking Tums right now.
Well, but you also probably don't watch TV. Because when like you're a kid, when I grew up, all you did was watch TV. There's nothing else to do, or play Nintendo. But there was a commercial where the ending was Tums. And when I knew I was going to be working with you, I'm like, okay, the first parody song that came into my mind was dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Well, I don't know if it's good, but that's just the way my mind works. Oh, I have so many parody songs for you.
For me?
Yes.
Already?
Oh my, you have no idea.
Man.
Absolutely. I have them all written on my phone. I have a running log of different ideas and things that we're going to do. So we had our first show yesterday. By the way, shout out to everybody on YouTube. Is this something I should be doing at the beginning of every show? I should be saying subscribe, like, comment, YouTube. Because you can actually see us. This is not something I worked at PHLY for a year, which was strictly on YouTube. But, obviously I'm on the radio now, but also there's a YouTube component, which has a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
So
yesterday, I mean, they were flying in.
Right. So
numbers were great.
So if you want to watch the show, and the great thing about YouTube is you can watch it whenever. I had somebody reach out to me late last night and said, hey, I was swamped at work yesterday. I didn't get a chance to listen to the show, but I went back and I watched it last night on YouTube, and it was awesome. Liked hearing Chuck from Mount Airy who called in. Liked hearing a lot of my old Whack Packers that called in yesterday. So some other feedback I got from yesterday's show. A lot of feedback on Ray Dunn, all right? Including from some ladies in the that sent me some messages.
Wow.
Apparently, and I've asked around, apparently Ray is very popular with the women. Now, these were some older ladies. Like, when I say older than you, maybe in their 30s, younger than me, but older than you, that were inquiring, like, is Ray single? I'm like, I don't believe so, but we can talk about it on the air.
I am single. I want to make that very clear.
You are single?
People. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Quite single.
I thought you were. No, I thought you had a girlfriend, but you don't. So you're single.
Yes.
Are you ready to mingle?
Very ready to mingle.
Really?
Always ready to mingle.
So I had asked you. Before the show. I said, well, do you have a headshot? Because I want to put your headshot out on Instagram.
Oh no.
So people can see. Because Ray being 25 years old definitely looks older because he's got a big beard. If you haven't seen Ray, that's why you should watch on YouTube. Because Ray apparently is quite the ladies' man. At least that's what I'm being told. Now, I don't know if he's able to follow through with it and he's able to score. But, I mean, I can tell you from my single days being on the radio, I get some people that may reach out from time to time on social media. It does not happen with me being married now because I'm happily married and that would never happen. But I'm just saying, I didn't know. Oh, so you are single. Nice.
I am single, yes.
Makes things even better.
Yeah, the radio thing is a very interesting thing for people to hear about. People are very interested in the radio world.
Very interested. Very interested.
I don't think it quite holds the power that it did in the world of television and all that, where you could be going viral on TikTok, but
there's just not as many people that it's just not listened to the same way as it was before, I guess. But there's still people that listen to you every day, and when they meet you, they're far more impressed than they should be when they meet you. I say that to people all the time. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't be impressed meeting me.
Oh, it's very, very weird when people are like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God, that's Ray Dunn.
It happened Friday night garage. It was first Connor Thomas was the one that got recognized first. And then it was, oh, that's Ray.
Now, so is it bothering you that do people spell your last name wrong all the time and you get mad because the E's not added to it?
I mean, it bothers me a little bit, yeah. I prefer you just get it right with the E. I mean, I feel like Dunn has become a very popular last name. Livy now is everywhere, so I feel like you should be able to know that the E is at the end of the Dunn. You know?
Livy has made your last name with the E spelled correctly.
Yeah, I'm livid with her specifically because she is trademarking all of the good Dunn pun things for herself. And now there's going to be nothing left for me to market my name with.
You just got to ride. No, you got to ride her coattails. Just use it to your advantage. Please use it to your advantage. You're okay with it.
I'm thrilled. Yeah, pro Livy.
You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD Burlington, Philadelphia, at Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, so that's one thing I learned is now you're single, which means we can do lots of bits with you being single.
I'm thrilled with the news that there was a lot of people checking in with you about my availability.
A lot might have been one, but still.
That works for me. One is more than zero.
But I was disappointed you didn't have a headshot because I do want to say, a lot of times when people work in radio, you get the, well, you have a face for radio. That is not the case with this show. This is a very handsome show. Right?
I would say the handsomest show on Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio.
Well, I mean, what would even be second place?
Well, yeah, I mean,
frankly.
It's
all right, so
low bar, but we cleared it.
Ricky Bo, he's a little bit of an older gentleman these days, Ricky Bo, but.
You haven't been out with Ricky Bo.
Well, I know he's a maniac.
No, just the people. People see Ricky Bo.
Well, no, he's handsome.
Yeah, ladies come up very quick.
And he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
Yeah, so Ricky Bo, former athlete. Ricky Bo in his prime when he was a player was probably a stud, right? And then you have Bill Colarulo. All right.
Yeah.
He's above average looks.
He got the hair back.
Hey, I think you look better with the shaved head.
Really?
I gotta get him the glat. Yeah, I gotta get him the glat.
I thought this was no hot take radio here. You thought he looked better with the bald head?
I don't mind the bald head on the shave.
Even with the beard he went with?
Well, I mean, I'm not telling you that it was perfect, but I don't mind. The shaved head can be okay. I gotta get him the glat because I do believe he looks better with the hair. And then Silvana, if you want to throw Silvana in there, is a beautiful girl. So that's a good looking show as well. All right, mornings. All right, John's distinguished.
Yeah, John's got. I mean, he's got the full head of hair.
Oh man, he's got good hair.
Yeah,
distinguished. Got the whitest gray hair. Salciunas above average looks.
Yeah,
this is a good looking radio station.
Yeah,
Let's face it.
Well, that.
All right, I mean, we got something going.
That's why they got the cameras everywhere.
Thank God. That's what I said to my wife. I'm like, I have to make sure that I'm keeping up with my appearance because I can't come into work, with greasy hair and a hat and everything else if the camera's looking at me every time. But in all seriousness, thank you to everybody that tuned in yesterday, that's tuning in today, all the kind words that everybody has said even before I started. But it's really cool to be back, and it's really cool to have such support from everybody internally right here at the Fanatic, and all the listeners that knew me from before, all the listeners that knew me from my last stop. I appreciate everybody. It's been a really, really fun first day coming in here to the second day. And by the way, you should be following not only the station on social media, which I don't really care if you do, but follow me on social media. All right? My Instagram, my Twitter, at John, Jon, Marks, M-A-R-K-S Media. Because I'm like you, Ray. People will spell my name J-O-H-N because I'm Jonathan, so I spell it J-O-N. John, Jon, Marks, M-A-R-K-S Media. John Marks Media. I got to get my Instagram following to 10,000. Right now I'm at 9,050. So I've gotten probably 60 new followers since I started here. So I'm trying to, I feel like a real influencer if I get to 10,000. So I can get the balloons, and you can take a picture of me with the balloons, and I can put it on Instagram.
Yes, I am all in on that. Should we throw a 10K party for you?
Yes.
I'm in.
Yes, on the show. We won't talk about sports. We'll just talk about.
It's just going to be balloons behind you. It's going to be a YouTube feed of you celebrating. You just read out every single one of the 10,000 followers to thank them.
Glorious day. It'll be a glorious day. But make sure you're following everything. We've been putting a lot of clips out on social media with the Fanatic, their Instagram, Twitter, and mine as well. Are you on Instagram? So all the ladies that I'm talking about can check you out?
I have the 97.5 Instagram going. So Ray Dunn 97.5.
Ray Dunn 97.5. I would remove the 97.5 from your Instagram. I'm just saying. Last time I had 97.5 on my Twitter, they were telling me it was their Twitter, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to change the Twitter handle too.
I was using it because I thought it was an easy way and whatever, and they're like, oh well, if you put 97.5, then that's real. I'm like, oh, that's not. And this is not right now. This is many years ago when I worked here.
Yeah, and if you're talking to the ladies that want to slide in the DMs, Ray Dunn 21 would be the Instagram that you should go to.
Bill Colarulo is over 10,000, and that's because he is an unbelievable video maker on Instagram. Before he started doing afternoons, he was churning out content like you wouldn't believe. He was adding thousands of Instagram followers a day. Colarulo. Well, there you go. All right, coming up, we're gonna get into Vic Fangio's his press conference is coming up. But the Phillies, how are we feeling with the Phillies heading into the playoffs? The wild card games start today. And it seems like a common theme from most Phillies fans is one particular worry with the team. What is that worry, and what is the worry for you? 610-632-0975. Eagles phone calls as well coming up. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Now, let's talk about this because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
While, we have you here, you're not naive to the conversation following last season and the way that everyone, the frustrations around this city following the team last season. If you had the opportunity to address the fan base the way you have right now, where, you're live on the radio, what would you want to say to the fans of this city and the people of this city as it relates to the upcoming season?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, man, one, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate every fan that shows up. We appreciate every fan that loves us, that criticizes us. My biggest thing is, for us, for me to give y'all outlook or give y'all hope, I'll say, come look at the VJ Edgecombs, come look at the Justin Edwards, come watch the Boners, come watch the Trendens, come watch these new guys who y'all haven't seen before. And then you also have superstars as far as Paul George and Joel, you know what I mean? And little old me, I'll be there too. And we're always going to go out there and play our hardest. I can guarantee you that.
World Series, but I think that if there was a way to play competitive baseball but not have the outcome knock us out, we get the bye no matter what, I think that that's personally what I wish could happen. Probably not what everybody else would say, but I just know how important rhythm is and consistency to a game like baseball because of how difficult it is.
That's Nick Castellanos talking about the bye. Yeah, the bye had always been a worry for Phillies fans until it hasn't affected them like it did the Braves. The Braves were they were trying everything they could possibly do because it had cost them a number of years in a row. So they were, all right, well, we're gonna have a game, or we're gonna have fans in there. The Phillies are actually doing that Wednesday night, which is really, really cool. They're donating the money to charity. And are they opening up the upper levels as well? I know they've sold out the lower level pretty quick.
I think they're going to the 200 level at least.
Are they?
Now. But I don't think they got all the way up to the 400 level. I was looking into going. I was thinking about doing it.
Well, you live closer than me.
Right.
There'd have to be a suitcase of cash for me to go to that.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that trek would be worth it for you.
No, it wouldn't. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could wait around here and go. But it's just that. But anyway, so the biggest worry for Phillies fans is, Ray Dunn, what's your biggest worry?
Me specifically, I think it's going to be.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I guess right now it has to be just how they respond. Actually, I think it's the middle innings of relief right now. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me right now. I think Orion Kerkering, the end of the season that we saw from him, if they have to use Robertson back-to-back days, that's proven to be a problem. Looking at what they have, I cannot get a read on where I think Strahm is right now because they didn't pitch him a lot down the stretch.
Right.
So I think that would be just how they're going to bridge this to Duran is probably where I'd find the most cause for concern because you do have a pitching staff in Sanchez that's tremendous, but has only pitched 7 innings in the postseason before. Luzardo, I don't know how he's going to respond necessarily to the moment in that third game. I'm pretty confident Ranger Suarez getting you through 5-6 innings. But I think that would be the biggest thing. How you bridge the really good starting pitching to Duran would be the biggest thing for me in the postseason.
So most Phillies fans, and you've seen the same thing as me, are worried about the offense going cold. Because that's something that we saw. Last year, the offense was horrible. The season against the Diamondbacks the previous year. Is that the previous year now? I don't even remember. But they were historic, if you remember. They went to Arizona, historic pace. And then the Diamondbacks made a couple of adjustments, and the Phillies were swinging at everything and went ice cold. So, of course, you're worried about an offense that you've seen go ice cold before, go ice cold again in the playoffs. I just, and I'm more or less kind of looking early on, because once you get to the NLCS, that's the NLCS. I'm looking specifically at the divisional round that you're at least the favorite to win the series is the Dodgers, and you're going to be facing the Dodgers. That's the favorite to happen. I totally worry about the bullpen because your starting staff, you don't have Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler has the best chance to get you the deepest into a game. Chris Sanchez, we've seen this. Chris Sanchez is an awesome pitcher. He's really a 6-inning pitcher. Yeah, he'll go 7. He'll go a complete game. But what you're going to see out of Ranger, what you're going to see out of Chris Sanchez, what you're going to see out of Luzardo, and God forbid Aaron Nola, it's going to be a struggle to get more than 6 innings. And I don't think Ranger Suarez is giving you more than 5 innings because you're not leaving him out there in a playoff game to try to wiggle out of some trouble in the 5th or the 6th inning. You're yanking him early. And this team is one elite reliever, high leverage reliever short. They had to bring in Robertson, and it was a good signing because it didn't cost you players. It only cost you money. And I think Robertson's fine, but do I want him pitching the 8th inning of a one-run game on the road? No, of course not. Do I like Strahm is good, but they're not having Alvarado hurts because now Tanner Banks is being added to the equation of being high leverage in a big spot. Tanner Banks was very good this year. This is the playoffs. It's different. So who's your second best reliever? And I'm asking you, Ray, who's the second best reliever? Duran, obviously. Duran is so huge because you don't have to worry about the 9th inning. Whether he gives up the lead, whether he gives a home run or not, I haven't had as much confidence in the 9th inning during this run. This is great that they have Duran. Who's your second best reliever?
Strahm.
Yeah, see, that's not good enough. It's not. Kirkering, I have no confidence in Kirkering in a high leverage situation. I don't. Strom's your second best reliever? See, that's not good enough. And I like Strahm. The Phillies in 2008, the bridge to Lidge. Madsen was lights out. You had Scott Air that was your left-handed guy, and you had J.C. Romero that was on PEDs. He got suspended for it the following year. But you had Madsen, and he was more or less unhittable in the 8th inning, right? So you had that other electric reliever. I don't feel that right now that they have.
I mean, if you want to go stuff-wise and when you're looking at what they have velocity-wise, yeah, Strom's not going to blow you away, but he does. I don't know exactly what it is, how he deceives hitters, how he ends up getting that. Yeah, it's incredible to watch him work and get through innings that you don't anticipate. And I think against the Dodgers, he's had a ton of success. Like, he's been the Ohtani stopper time and time again for them. So I think that's the role they want for him coming into this series. I feel comfortable with them as a group. I just think if you look at the weakness, the weak point for this team, I feel really good about the 3 stars they throw out there in the DS. I think this lineup has more length to it than what it had a season ago. If I had to pick a concern, it would probably be, though, those middle innings.
All right, game 2, Ranger Suarez gives you 5 innings. Who's pitching the 6th?
That might be where you get Kirkering.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be where you go for Kirkering because I don't think you're going to trust him necessarily that late now.
You're not putting him in the 8th inning. He's your 6th or your 7th. So if he's your 6th, who's your 7th?
Well, you got the day off in between. You're probably going either Strahm, Banks, and then Robertson, Duran.
Yeah, like, no, you're right. Strahm's your second best reliever. And Robertson's and Kirkering are probably your 3rd, right? Like, I don't know if I probably have more confidence.
Kirkering.
I have more confidence in Robertson in the 8th inning than I do Kirkering.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Robertson, by and large, and late here, it's been tough for him. He's had a couple of outings where he's given up a run. But I think for him, it's just so important for them they don't pitch him back-to-back days. Like, if I see him pitch back-to-back days, he's a 40-year-old man. Like, at some point, Father Time catches up with you, and he's battling Father Time like nobody's business right now. Don't pitch him back-to-back days because we've seen his ERA back-to-back days be brutal.
But, I mean, they better get – that's the problem is in these series, it's nice against the Dodgers because or whoever they play, it's Saturday, Monday, so you have that day off. You're not going to have a ton of day offs until you travel. NLCS, I would have to look and see how many actually days, but you're going to play back-to-back games. Yeah, like that. And honestly, dude, like, I think if we looked at like the Dodgers bullpen's a mess. So it's not like that you don't have to worry about that with the other teams, but I like the offense is the offense. If they go cold, yeah, of course that's going to suck. I have more confidence in the offense getting you enough runs. I worry that it's a 3-2 game or a 4-3 game. And now you're in the 7th inning and Kirkering's out there and you're just hanging on for dear life. This is why I have a puke bucket when I watch these games because it's brutal to have to watch it. But, I mean, and it's cost them. I was in Arizona. I know we're up against it here. I was in Arizona, and I was out there for the games. We were broadcasting out there. And I'm watching the lead just fall apart, and then they're bringing Kimbrel in, and it's like, oh, my God, Jesus Christ. What's going to happen here? And you saw what happened, and Kirkering came in a high-leverage spot, and I thought he was ready for it. He wasn't, and he gave it up. So I wish they had one more reliever that I felt better about in the 7th or the 8th inning because but, you know, I guess every other team may be saying the same thing in Major League Baseball right now. All right, coming up, some text messages on the Eagles and the Phillies as well. Also, Joe, we might have time for you on the other side. Vic Fangio, he'll be talking some Phillies. He always comes out. He'll probably be wearing a Phillies hat this week. Vic Fangio, his thoughts on what's going on with the defense and the Eagles. What was up with those 70-yard big plays by Tampa? and injury stuff or whatever. Vic Fangio coming up right after this. Middays with Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Talking tweets, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles improved to 4-0 on Sunday. The conversation on Monday, though, surrounding a lot of the cryptic tweet from A.J. Brown following the game. The team obviously didn't complete a pass in the second half. The top 2 targets, finishing with 4 catches and 36 yards in the victory. Sirianni was asked Monday about the tweet and Brown's desire to still be a member of the Philadelphia Eagles.
He wants to contribute into these wins, and he's had a couple games where he hasn't been able to for different reasons of why we haven't in games. But I question nothing about his desire to play great football, his desire of being a good teammate, his desire to be here.
Over the next hour, you'll be able to hear from both Vic Fangio and Kevin Patulo about this team. And Inside the Birds, Jeff Mosher will join us coming up at 12:55 to talk about the Eagles. The Wild Card Series gets started today in baseball. Dodgers and Reds matched up for a best-of-3 series starting tonight at 9 o'clock. The winner of that series comes to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday for the start of the NLDS. This update is brought to you by Family & Company Jewelers. Viraggio Bridal Shows, October 9th through the 11th. This is your chance to save hundreds, maybe even thousands, on the ring of her dreams. Family & Company Jewelers, South Jersey's Diamond Destination. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Yesterday against the Bucs, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough from yesterday because everybody just wants to point the finger and say the offense sucks, Kevin Patulo sucks, all right? That is a very difficult place to win. The Eagles know that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are among the best 6 to 8 teams in the NFL, and they are a physical, and they are a good team. That is a playoff team. And that is a team that wants to go blow to blow, blow for blow with you. And they're not afraid to do that. And they very easily could have packed it in. They didn't. And they came out swinging in the second half. The Eagles' game plan and their offense in the first half yesterday, they came out, they were awesome. They had the umbrellas, the shades, or whatever they had. They were prepared because they saw what happened in previous years. And they said, we're not going to go down there and we're not going to let that happen again. Very smart by the Eagles to go down there and what they did. And you know what happened? In the second half, the Bucs made adjustments, and the Eagles, I think, were slow to adjust offensively, and it just seemed like that they were exhausted. And as the game went on, they had some injuries, they had guys that were cramping up, and give the Buccaneers credit. They made adjustments. You're playing against another team. It's not supposed to be easy for the entire game, and the Bucs made adjustments. And they came out, and they really gave it to the Eagles in the second half. A couple fluky long plays, but still. So that was a really, really good win by the Eagles yesterday.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
yesterday against the Bucks, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough from yesterday because everybody just wants to point the finger and say the offense sucks, Kevin Patulo sucks, all right? That is a very difficult place to win. The Eagles know that. You know what song this is?
No.
Ray Dunn, dun, 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 dun. It's Pretty Fly for a White Guy by Offspring, which is the non-good Offspring song. But it's still a catchy.
Oh, it's a good catchy song.
I
I think we used it as a return. Pretty sure.
Yeah, we're gonna like. I actually the production of the show sounds really good. The ins and outs sound really professional, so I'm happy with that. But need to as we get going, I'm gonna need to add some music to it with some lyrics as well, some actual.
Oh boy!
So is that a? I was told that I'm able to do that. But
No,
then
you
it's
are.
not something. Okay.
I just know that the radio-minded there's always a back and forth, whether or not lyrics, no lyrics, is it distracting, is it not distracting?
It's all lyrics. Well, no, you have to pick songs where you're fading it down. It's like when you do music radio, you're talking right up to you're hitting the post.
Yeah, hitting the post.
So you're talking right up to where you know where it starts, and you got to get in everything you have to say before that. Like we could actually do on the show hitting the post. I could put up a song, and you would have to filibuster and do it, and then hit the post. We're gonna do that because I can do that. I've always wanted to do. Maybe I can voice track or something for one of the stations in the group.
You want to go to music radio?
Well, in 2000 and Vic Fangio's coming up, by the way. Is he there now, or are we good?
No, we have not gotten Fangio yet.
Vic Fangio's coming up.
minutes.
So in 2007, I got a tryout at a rock station in Atlanta. It was called Project 961. Yeah. It was an iHeart station. So it played alt, but it played alt with an edge. So it wasn't playing Dave Matthews. It was playing, I don't know, Limp Bizkit, but it played a harder alt rock. It wasn't playing a lot of Dave Matthews. So it was a tryout for a morning show. I went down with my buddy Giant Brian, who at the time, Brian was the producer for John DeBella, who was the morning show host on 102.9 WMGK. Mm-hmm. So I went down with him. We did 2 overnight shows and killed it. And Brian got the job, and the program director already had his number 2 microphone in mind. He was just looking for who the front of the show was going to be. And wouldn't email me back or anything like that. I was just like, oh, yeah. Like, he wouldn't say, like, hey, man, I thought you were really good, but I already had somebody in mind or whatever. So Brian got the job. He went down there, and he had a morning show with this dude who's been out of radio for – actually, both of them have been. But the dude that got the job instead of me, last I heard he was doing sports radio in Grand Rapids. And I don't think he's in radio anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the alternate reality?
I wonder what would have happened if I would have went down there and done it. Because I really liked Atlanta. I liked Midtown Atlanta. I was really disappointed I didn't get the job. Because it was like, I mean, not that I don't love sports radio, not that I don't love doing the show, but anyway, Vic Fangio's with us. Here's Vic Fangio.
Yeah. Vic, when you have 2 rookies starting, do you kind of go into it knowing that there's going to be bad plays, but you're going to get the good plays too? How do you kind of approach that?
Bud Grant used to say, for every rookie you play, you can add 1 to your loss column. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what he used to say.
What's your 2 explosives?
What's that?
What did you say in the 2 explosives that you gave up? That you guys gave up?
Bad play.
Any context to it? Any teaching points
Yeah, a lot of teaching points.
that you can share?
I'll leave him alone.
Should Makuba, does he have to play the man there? And Reed's kind of in front, he's in back. Is he the guy that has to play the man there?
No, he has to play his deep zone.
What do you attribute right now to the lack of sacks from your edge rushers right now?
I don't think our rush has been bad. The ball's been coming out pretty quick at times. I haven't felt an epidemic during the games when I'm calling them that our rush isn't good enough. So, sacks are sacks.
Are those simulated pressures with Vaughn? Is that in response to Nolan Smith not being available, or is that something you were planning on?
No, that's just part of what we do.
A couple weeks ago, you were talking about Jahad Campbell playing off ball alone and games
Playing what?
off ball alone, letting Bond kind of be on the edge. It seems like that was something he was able to do this week. What have you made of Campbell's progression and the trust he's earned to be off ball alone?
Yeah, that hadn't happened.
How do you think Keeley held up?
Huh?
How do you think Keeley held up?
Good. Thought he did good. I mean, he can be better. The true test for him will be to see how he improves. But overall, did good.
Would you like to keep him there even when Adori's healthy?
It's possible.
What did you like about his performance, and what areas did you see for improvement?
He was pretty sticky in man coverage. Like to see his tackling improve. You know, one thing a guy has to learn that has played predominantly special teams is tackling on defense is a lot different than tackling in special teams. So, but I'm confident he can improve that.
If I can ask a big picture career question, the last time the Eagles played the Broncos,
I may choose not to answer it.
that's fair. That's fine. You were on the other sideline. How did that experience as a head coach help you as a coordinator in years after?
Playing them?
No, just the experience with Denver. How did that help you as a coordinator?
I was still the coordinator there, so it was just one of 25 or 26 years of being a coordinator.
With another body going down, elbows injury, are you comfortable right now with what you have in the edge rushing room? Do you think you need outside upgrades?
You know, I think we're good with what we have. The numbers are dwindling, and if we need more, I'm sure Howie will get something done.
What have you seen from Aziz Ojulari in practice of late?
What's that?
What have you seen from Aziz Ojulari in practice of late?
Yeah, he's been practicing good.
Was Makuba playing almost exclusively that safety spot just because of the personnel usage, or are you going to stick just with him there?
Right now, he's playing full-time.
What are the factors that had Aziz inactive for the first 4 games?
Well, special teams plays a major factor in that when you're talking about either your fourth or fifth guy, if you have 5 dressed. So that's a big factor.
What have you seen specifically from Uche and Za'Darius since he got here?
I thought Za'Darius played his best game since he had been here, which is expected, you know. And I think Josh is improving too, you know, and I'm pleased with where he's headed.
What have you seen from Quinyon in his year 2 so far?
Good. I thought he played very well the other day. And I told him I think it was his best game since he's been here. He played well.
What will you, you haven't yet, but what will you look for Nakobe's eligible to come back here? Is he ready in your mind? What have you seen? And how would you describe what he did for this team last year?
Well, he played great last year. Besides being the signal caller guy and being a leader, you can't be a leader if you don't play good. And he played great for us last year. As far as where he's at now, you know, either this week or next week he'll start his practice window, and then we'll see where he's at.
And then what are the challenges that Bo Nix presents?
He's a lot like Baker Mayfield. I think he might be Baker's younger brother. Really good. Really, really good.
Cooper DeJean, his tackling, what kind of luxury is that? Have you had many corners in your career that can tackle like Cooper?
Well, he's playing mainly nickel. So that's an important part of the nickel position because you're playing so much of it anymore on the early downs. So that's part of the job description, and he does a great job at it. We're thrilled to have him.
When you say Mayfield's younger brother, what similar skill sets do you see there?
Well, you just watch Mayfield. I mean, he's a scrambler. He's a competitor. You know, he'll throw the ball in tight places. He runs their offense really well. I think Sean's done a great job bringing him along. And they got their quarterback for the future. You know, they looked long and hard for many years, and have got one.
What kind of role do you see for Nakobe with Zach and Jihad also healthy once Nakobe's back?
We'll see when we get there. I don't think we're there yet.
You would be, I'm sorry.
When you were talking about Campbell, so like a rush at the start of the second half or Bonds rushing off the edge, is that more Campbell's getting help inside if he's not
No,
alone?
consider that where he's off the ball, by himself.
Do you think right now Jihad has the requisite skill set right now to play on the edge more? Like, is there a possibility Jihad plays the edge and Kobe plays on it?
Not right now.
The quarterback aside, a few of the blue chip players there, you were a big part of bringing there. How much have you paid attention to what Denver's done in the past few years?
Not too much. I still have good friends in that organization. I wish them nothing but the best, except this week. Sean's a friend of mine. I think there's only about 8 or 9 players left from when I was there. And they're all good players. So, not too much. That's, 2000? 4 years down the road. Those are dog years in this business.
What kind of problems does Sean present?
He's an excellent play caller. They're very multiple on offense with multiple personnel groups, multiple schemes from the play standpoint, but yet still has a good bit of old school in him, and they'll run the ball. They like the power game and the run game. He's really good. He's tough to go against.
All right, there's Vic Fangio coming up. So keep this in mind. And Joe, I promise we'll get to your phone call on the other side. Coming up, Kevin Patulo. Kevin Patulo, offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, has his press conference coming up in the 12 o'clock hour. We'll bring it to you. He's going to be peppered with a lot of different questions. Jalen Hurts, what the hell's going on with the offense? A.J. Brown, and more. Patulo, the news at noon coming up at about 11:55, 12 o'clock. Coming up right after this, though. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about field goals. That's right. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas, and Connor Thomas.
Thought-provoking, entertaining, insightful. Just what you need to get your day going. Kincade and Salciunas, today's talk show.
Watch or listen every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m. on YouTube. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
At CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill.
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way.
Well,
now, let's talk about this because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, we have you here. You're not naive to the conversation following last season and the way that everyone, the frustrations around this city following the team last season. If you had the opportunity to address the fan base the way you have right now, where you're live on the radio, what would you want to say to the fans of this city and the people of this city as it relates to the upcoming season?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, man, one, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate every fan that shows up. We appreciate every fan that loves us, that criticizes us. My biggest thing is, like, for us, for me to give y'all outlook or give y'all hope, I'll say, come look at the VJ Edgecombs, come look at the Justin Edwards, come watch the Bonus, come watch the Trendins, come watch these new guys who y'all haven't seen before. And then you also have superstars as far as Paul George and Joel, you know what I mean? And little old me, I'll be there too. And we're always going to go out there and play our hardest. I can get.
Coming up here with Diggity Dunn, sex symbol, Ray Dunn. You haven't seen his, you have an OnlyFans, Ray? By any chance?
Not yet,
That's
no.
some people asking me.
I was debating getting into that. I don't know what the side venture as part of the agreement here was. We haven't covered OnlyFans yet on that.
It's probably not in your contract, so you may be able to get away with it. So
I feel like it's a side passion project.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. There would be at least 2 or 3 people out there that would maybe pay $4.99 a month for your pictures.
And that's at least a beer. So in a way, that covers some expenses.
Oh, man. All right, so News at Noon coming up with Ray. Joe has been holding for a really long time. I want to get him in. Joe, thanks for holding, buddy. How are you?
Good. Welcome back.
What's up, Joe?
So listen, this whole A.J. Brown thing. I appreciate Jalen Hurts as a football player, but why can't we all agree that he's not an elite thrower of the football? He never has been, and he never will be. Last year we were 29th in the NFL in passing. That's horrible. Like, we're a horrible passing team. That's what we are. Okay, this year we're 30th.
Yep.
So why all of a sudden after 6 years is he going to become Patrick Mahomes? And by the way, the comparison to the top 5 quarterbacks, he's not. He's just not. Like, if he was on Carolina, they'd be 0-4.
Well, I mean, I hear you. I hear you. But, and Joe, that's why it's difficult to kind of to put him in a category, right? Because if I'm being honest and you said, would you rather have this quarterback like a Justin Herbert, who hasn't won squat, who has been in big games and has come up small, against Jalen Hurts, and you watch him throw the football, and it's like, well, Justin Herbert's unbelievable. He can flick the ball 40 yards like that. Great, like a great athlete, great passer. But then you look at the intangibles of Jalen Hurts and what he's able to do. I don't know what Jalen Hurts would look like on a different team. Because it's not like you're utilizing these great wide receivers, right? But you're right, he's not elevating a bad team and making them a great team. He's not that type of a quarterback.
And by the way, but you know what? And it's funny because you had a really good point with the Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert lost his starting left tackle, and he lost his starting right tackle in this game. His starting left tackle is going for the year. When we lose a guy, when Jalen has a bad game, Lane was out. I watched Carson Wentz throw the ball 10 times to Justin Jefferson, and Addison had over 100 yards with 3 linemen out. Like, why can't we get the ball to the receiver? Like, this is crazy. Other teams get the ball to their guys. We can't get the ball to our receiver. It has to be some sort of coaching.
I think, I believe in Patulo is going to be asked about it coming up here in the 12 o'clock hour. Honestly, I think everybody shares a little bit of the blame. Jalen Hurts is not the best rhythm quarterback, passing quarterback in the league. And he's also showed up in big games, and he's outthrown Patrick Mahomes. But no one's going to confuse him with Pat Mahomes throwing the football. Pat Mahomes does a lot with not a lot on offense. But Jalen Hurts also has outplayed him in 2 Super Bowls. So there's so many times that I want to agree with the people that say, well, Jalen Hurts isn't good enough at throwing the football, but then he'll do it in a big moment. Is Jalen Hurts a better football player than he is a quarterback? Does that make sense, Ray?
That makes sense.
Jalen Hurts is an unbelievable football player that plays quarterback. He is not winning the conventional way in a lot of these games.
What would you say he's a better quarterback than he is a passer?
You know what Jalen Hurts has done? He has changed the way that I think a lot of people, or at least how you should be looking at the quarterback position in the NFL. Because what the Eagles have done is they said, you know what? we will put a great team around him, and we have a guy in big situations that will get a drive, that will get a play. Every big spot, for the most part, that this dude has been in his career, he's come through. Who's the quarterback in the league? If you need a drive, you need to score, you need a touchdown. Who are the quarterbacks in the league that you want with the ball? There's 90 seconds left to go in the game. You're down by 5. You need a touchdown. Who are the quarterbacks that you want to go to?
Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes, I would agree. Over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, over Jalen. Oh, if this is just a conversation over Jalen Hurts, Mahomes.
It doesn't have to be over Jalen Hurts. It has to be like, who are the other quarterbacks? Because I look at Jalen Hurts and I'm like, that dude is getting it done. You know why? He can run it. He can do designed runs. He can scramble. He's a knack from getting out of pressure and still throwing the ball. He can go short yardage with that stupid tush push that works and it's so effective. Like, there's reasons why. Some quarterbacks, Donovan McNabb is a better passer than Jalen Hurts, has a better arm, is a better passer than Jalen Hurts. And when the light was shining the brightest, he came up the smallest. That is not Jalen Hurts. It's the other way around, and that matters.
Yeah, and I think going back to the conversation of like quarterback versus passer, I think if you're just looking at passing the football, obviously, I think it was Orlovsky had said this a couple weeks ago in his like praise of Hurts. He even threw in this little nugget of like, if you took him and like 12 other quarterbacks from the NFL, put him out in the field and said, hey, just throw the football with no names attached, he's probably not the one you're going to walk out of there and say, yeah, I want that quarterback to be the one playing for me. But if you look at all the things that go into being a quarterback and you look at the ultimate goal is the guy that's going to take you from your 35 to the other team's end zone, he's able to do that for you. He's able to move the football methodically. He is able to see what's happening out there, react to it, adjust to it, and make things happen and just win you a football game. And I think that's the ultimate job of a quarterback. It gives us a real conundrum in this business because the way that you compare quarterbacks, so much of it is statistically driven, so much of it is arm talent, so much of it is what you thought about the quarterback originally. Everyone gets on me here. You'll learn this about me. I'm a huge Jordan Love fan. I was big on Jordan Love coming out. The problem is he hasn't been consistent enough. But when I go to my analysis of a quarterback, my initial instinct with him was, look at the way he can throw the football. Look at the way he can spin it in there. And Hurts never had that working for him, so he's never going to get the benefit of the doubt from people in this business and people that just watch football because your initial instinct on him wasn't that.
Yeah, but Jordan Love's good. Oh, man, he's good.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's good, but he's not consistent enough yet, and he'll have games where it's like, wow, like that was a real clunker. By the way, a lot of quarterbacks are like that. You have the top quarterbacks in the league that are more consistent game in and game out, and then you have Jordan Love, who when you watch some games, you're like, he wasn't very good. When I watch Josh Allen play, and by the way, I took Josh Allen over Wentz in a fantasy football draft. I took Josh Allen over Wentz because I thought Josh Allen was better than Wentz, and this is when everybody in Philadelphia still thought Carson Wentz was. It was after the 2018 season. I'm like, they're overrating him. I don't think he's very good anymore. But so I thought Josh Allen was unbelievable for a long time. When I watch him play, that's the guy I want. He's big. He's strong. He has an unbelievable arm. The throws that he can make, the plays that he can make are unbelievable. He's never been to a Super Bowl. And he's got to own some of that. He just does. He's got to own some of that. Lamar Jackson, how many MVPs?
2.
Three.
Three now. Three now, yeah.
MV3.
I missed one.
I think it's 3, right? And like Lamar Jackson, unbelievable talent. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I hope he gets to a Super Bowl so we can stop talking about it. Do you see his record against the Chiefs? You'd see what he does in the playoffs when teams are like, okay, now we're not going to let you run around and you're going to have to throw the ball. Like Steve Spagnuolo defended him, was it last year or the year before? In the playoffs, he had said, hey, we're not going to let you throw an intermediate pass. You're going to have to either throw over us or you're going to have to throw in front of us. And if you throw in front of us, you're not going to get many yards. And it was a great game plan against him. He doesn't have the best talent in the world. It feels like he has enough now. But Lamar Jackson hasn't been to a Super Bowl, right? So all these guys that you would take over Jalen Hurts, what's missing? What's missing is they haven't won. And there's something to Jalen Hurts being a winner that's there. But is there anybody that's taking Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson? They should. Lamar Jackson's an amazing talent. All right, coming up, news at noon. Do we do team coverage for news at noon? You know how when you watch the local news, it's like team coverage. Starting with right now, down at Chiggs and Pete's in South Philly.
It's just me. I'm the one newsman.
We've got good beef between media personalities, and there's an update on Ray's favorite story in the media right now. which I think I know what that is, and I'm looking forward to it. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Second half shortcomings. I'm Ray Dunn, and this update is brought to you by Wawa. Wawa's newest $6 meal deal. Choose a shorty hoagie, chicken sandwich, or wrap, plus a small fountain drink and Hers chips, all for $6. Gotta have a Wawa. Obviously, the conversation following Monday's win is not that the Eagles are 4-0. It has to do with the cryptic tweet and some of the same problems that you've seen in the second half for this Eagles team over the first 4 games. That passing offense without a completion in the second half. The Buccaneers nearly come from behind to win that game. Nick Sirianni was asked yesterday about the problems they're having.
We were really successful in the first half and wasn't as successful as second half. We had some plays that moved backwards, which again was kind of some of the things that happened in the previous game. So again, need to be explosive, need to protect the football, and need to be efficient.
We'll talk to Inside the Bird and Philly Voices Jeff Mosher coming up at 12:55 about the Eagles' struggles, despite, again, that 4-0 record for them. We'll also hear from Kevin Patulo. And in the 12 o'clock hours, he addresses everything going on with that offense. Elsewhere in baseball, wildcard series gets started today. Dodgers, Reds, 9 o'clock. The winner comes to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push talk, walkie talks, nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code radio for an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way.
Well,
now, let's talk about this because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, you know, we have you here. You're not naive to the conversation following last season and the way that everyone, the frustrations around this city following the team last season. If you had the opportunity to address the fan base the way you have right now, where you're live on the radio, what would you want to say to the fans of this city and the people of this city as it relates to the upcoming season?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, man, one, we appreciate you guys. You know, we appreciate every fan that shows up. We appreciate every fan that loves us, that criticizes us. My biggest thing is, like, for us, we have, for me to give y'all outlook or give y'all hope, I'll say, come look at the VJ Edgecombs, come look at the Justin Edwards, come watch the Bonus, come watch the Trendins, come watch these new guys who y'all haven't seen before. And then you also have superstars as far as Paul George and Joel, you know what I mean? And little old me, I'll be there too. And we're always going to go out there and play our hardest. I can guarantee you that.
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed.
All right. We're back. Middays with Marks. Kevin Patulo. Is he public enemy number one in the city right now? I know there were many people that wanted to hold him accountable after that last game. Well, he's going to speak to the media. And he's going to have to answer the questions and question the answers. That's coming up like probably before 12:30 when he steps to the podium. We'll have it for you. Curious to hear his answer because there's a I mean, you've had it. I haven't heard every press conference, right? You've been having it on every week.
Yeah.
So he gives a lot of nothing burgers.
Does a really good job of talking around the question.
Very, very Sirianni-ish.
Yes. Without the, hokey high school, and my brother Jay told me about this thing offensively that he did, and it makes me think of, we just cut that out. That's really what we get rid of.
Which is fine because I don't want to hear that. No. It's nice every once in a while from Nick when he talks about the high school stuff. But when he's talking for 4 minutes and I don't even know what the question was anymore, I'm out. I don't need that.
They have their own entertainment platform. Give Sirianni a podcast. I don't know if you've ever watched The Office and when they give Creed the blog where he has Creed thoughts and he's just typing into a Word doc and it's going nowhere. Put him in a room for an hour. Let Sirianni record a podcast that he thinks is going out to the world and let him get all of his high school stories out there.
I interviewed the guy that apparently Nick tried to fight playing tennis in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Nick's something else. He really is.
Oh, he is. A Super Bowl winner. I got to give him credit.
Oh, no, when I say something else, I like him a lot.
Hell yeah. So much good.
Do you have a Sirianni soundboard specifically?
I have a run of them here.
I'm the smartest coach in the world.
Okay, so
we all fertilize.
We can prank Herb with a Sirianni soundboard, and he probably wouldn't know. If I just said, hey, I was talking to Nick Sirianni, he thought he's a fan of you. He wanted to give you a call. We could probably pull it off.
All right. I think we can put it together.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So Patulo's going to be coming up here in the next 25 minutes or so. Looking forward to that. News at noon coming up in a second, but you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. The 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Time for the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for...
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
The News at Noon.
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
With Ray Dunn.
That's right. News at noon time here on The Fanatic. And we're going to start in the NFL. We're going to start on Get Up yesterday. Because amongst the stories discussed... Why not Shedeur Sanders when you see Joe Flacco not play a good game this weekend? And I am all in, by the way, on Joe Flacco going for Brady's record for the oldest quarterback ever. I think we need to convince one team a year that Flacco still got it, that he could still go out there and start games for you. I want it so bad for him to be the oldest quarterback to ever play in football. He's not going to get there, but I want it badly.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be. He may start games because of injury. He'll get backup jobs.
That's what I mean. We need to keep him in the league long enough.
Yeah, I'm all for it. He's got nothing else to do.
That's exactly it. I need that for him. But, of course, his job's being called for now because the Browns are doing what the Browns do. They lose games, don't look good offensively. Yeah. Rex Ryan wants to make it very clear. He knows why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting. He's not going to tell you specifically why, but he knows. And this league is all on notice of why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting.
Stefanski is one of an outstanding coach. All right? But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see this Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
I don't even know what to say to that. The whole league knows what? That he's not handling himself as a professional, and that's the reason why he's not being given the opportunity.
And Rex Ryan saying he would be the last one in line to know about that?
All right.
So if you think that you'd be the last one in line to know about that, do I actually think you know about that?
Yeah, it's very... By the way, I think Shedeur Sanders, there's a place for him in this league.
Yeah.
I think he's a starting quarterback at some point in this league. There's also reasons why he fell. There's also reasons why he is behind Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel is a starter in this league at all.
No, I don't think so at all.
I didn't think that coming out. It's interesting.
So the whole story comes out that he said no to the Ravens, right? That he didn't want to go be Lamar's backup. I don't know. Right now, would you be in a better situation if... Hey, say Lamar had gone down and wasn't able to play, and you get to show yourself for 2 weeks with the Ravens offense as compared to the Browns?
Of course. Of course you're in a better spot with the Ravens. Honestly, it's bad advice if he actually did that, if that's what happened. I think Dion said that happened, right? So it happened. Going to a well-run organization that is successful year in and year out, and I know they're struggling right now, is a good reset. You weren't a first-round draft pick. You weren't a second-round draft pick. So there's chaos in your life. There's chaos in your career. Go to a good organization that's going to take care of you, because you know what can happen when you need the player, when you're going to play, or in the preseason. If you look good, you could be traded, and teams could say, "Hey, because Shedeur Sanders has enough talent to be an NFL quarterback, to be a starting NFL quarterback, a great one. I don't know about that." But, he's better than a lot of quarterbacks that are out there right now.
Right, and it comes down to being in a good spot, and Cleveland's not that spot.
No, Cleveland's the last place you would want to go.
Right, in his situation.
Yeah,
anyone's situation, really. All right, let's move on. Media beefs. I love them. They fuel my day. I'd love to see two people in the media that just despise one another, and I did not know this one existed. So Todd McShay's doing his podcast, and I guess he's got some sort of deal that runs out in October, because in October, he's going to tell us the truth about Paul Feinbaum. Take a listen.
But it's really good to see this for DeBoer, because it feels like if Alabama had lost this game after losing to Florida State, and Florida State just lost to Virginia, and all, that place is vicious. Watch that trash Paul Feinbaum to see how vicious and it's just not good. It's just not good humanity.
Right.
Okay? Get my little shot in it, Paul. One of the all-time cowards. Is it October 1st yet? Let's see. 27th. About to be
next week. Next week.
Yeah, next week I can let it all unleash. We'll explain it all why later.
Is that Ryan Russillo with him?
That's a week-long tease. I don't know. I never cut over to him while I was screen recording this.
So I read the cut. I didn't hear it. I know he called him a coward, and he was saying that he must have some type of disclosure that he can't rip or say anything bad about people on ESPN. Paul Feinbaum, by the way, talking about running for Senate.
Yes, did see that. So this was before that news came out. This was Saturday.
So this is not political.
This is not a political shot by Todd McShay. No. This is strictly "you're a bad human" shot by Todd McShay.
Feinbaum can be very nasty towards a lot of these coaches. Yeah. I'm actually a big Feinbaum fan. I love listening to the Alabama callers.
Legend from Alabama.
His show is
Hail DeBoer.
Yeah, if you want to hear just absolute trailer rednecks from the South, calling into a radio show. Listen to the Paul Feinbaum Show.
It is so fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be curious to hear what he has to say about Feinbaum, because I'm a Feinbaum fan, but would it surprise me? Like, I mean, I don't know. McShay had the whole thing with ESPN, and he had like some health stuff or whatever was going on, and now I don't know. But I'll be curious to hear what happens.
Him going scorched earth on him would be really good theater.
Sure
I mean,
would.
again, I'm Paul Guy here, but McShay teasing some dirt. This is also great for the news at noon. This is a week-long tease, basically. Next week, whenever this comes out,
we'll get it.
We'll get it for you.
Well, tomorrow's October 1st.
Oh, all right. Screw it.
Today's
Tomorrow
the 30th,
we'll have
right?
it.
30 days has September, April, June, and November.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we may get it this week.
That's not a good look for the Springford school system right there, that I didn't have the September amount of days. I had next week this October. All
Nice
right,
job.
last one for you here. It's my favorite story going on in sports. Kawhi Leonard. And was he paid outside of the salary cap? So we get a chance. Lawrence Frank sits down. He's got his media day availability. You've got the Clippers media there to ask him, hey, did you do anything outside, or were you asked to do anything outside of the rules?
Which was, has Dennis Robertson, Kawhi's uncle, ever asked for any extra benefits that wouldn't be allowable under the NBA salary cap directly to you? There's been a lot coming out of his asks.
Yeah, look, Dennis knows the rules, Kawhi knows the rules, Mitch Franco knows the rules, and we know the rules.
Is that a yes or a no, though?
Yes, we all know the rules.
Yes, we all know the rules.
And they caught with the hand in the cookie jar. And Kawhi denied it, and Steve Ballmer denied it, and everything else. Well, Pablo Torre, like this dude he's the best investigative reporter since Woodward and Bernstein, for crying out loud.
He's on a heater. It's incredible.
He went to the motel room or the Airbnb. where Bill and Jordan, because there's the famous picture of Bill shirtless that was caught on the Ring camera that got put out there. So what did Pablo do? He went and did he stay in it? We talked to the owners of the place, but Pablo Torre, great job, man.
He is on an all-time run. And every time that the Clippers try to push this aside, which is going to be the funny thing about this with the NBA, they're saying that this investigation won't be done till after All-Star weekend, which, by the way, is being held by the Clippers. He keeps coming out with something new every time they push him aside. So we're going to get more to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, when they try to throw water on it and say, well, he adds to the story and comes up with more information. So shout out. All right, there we go. So we're going to have the press conference. Patulo coming up here, like maybe about 15 minutes. We have some time for some phone calls on the other side. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. A.J. Brown is supposed to talk to the media tomorrow. Jeff McClain joined the morning show this morning. We'll give you what he had to say about the situation. He's plugged up on the inside, and Patulo is going to have to answer questions about what's going on with A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and the offense. So that's coming up. What did Jeff McClain say about it this morning? That's coming up right after this. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. You have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. If this would have been, well, they beat the Browns. All right. Oh, well, they beat the Giants with Russell Wilson as quarterback. All right. They played a bunch of bottom feeders. Okay, then I'd be like, you know what? You're not going to beat the good teams like this. You're not. They just beat the good teams. They just beat the Rams that had every reason to come in here with revenge on their minds, a physical team, a good team. They just beat the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So to act like that this 4-0 start isn't impressive, this is a very impressive 4-0 start. And if you're looking at it, oh, but you can't do this the whole season. You're not going to be able to win games like this. They just won games like this all last season. I heard the same thing last year. But look at the record. Look at the other teams, the good teams in the NFL. Who are the good teams? The Ravens. Uh-oh. They got smoked by the Chiefs. The Chiefs. In some of the years that they've won Super Bowls, you're not going to come out and click on offense every year, every quarter, every half. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you can't demand more from your offensive coordinator, from your offense. But realistically, man, I feel great. I'm back on the Fanatic. Middays with Marks. Everything's good. I have as much confidence in them winning a World Series as I guess I could possibly have because it's tricky. We've seen the Phillies 2 years ago go from historic hitting, and then the last couple games against the Diamondbacks, they couldn't hit anything. And they ended up losing a series. They couldn't win a game at home to go to the World Series, right? So outside of that, I'm as confident as I can be. The Phillies have as good of a chance to win a World Series this year as anybody in baseball. I couldn't feel any better about the Phillies than I do right now. And that doesn't mean like I'm overly confident. Let me put my chest out. Phillies are winning the World Series. I felt like that about the Eagles this year. Last year, I don't feel like that about the Phillies right now. But it's best case scenario. It's like, yeah, the Phillies are a good team. Let's see what happens in October. It's tough.
Yeah, best case, I guess, in terms of what you believe internally, I don't think they got the best path of what they have just because the Dodgers obviously sit there in a 5-game series against you, and the Reds' sneaky good pitching staff. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about them hitting off of you, but I could see that staff giving you problems in the postseason. I would have loved what the Brewers have waiting for them, one of the Cubs or the Padres, just given I don't think they've played their best baseball as of late. The Reds kind of snuck their way in, and maybe there's something there with the team from the NL Central that sneaks its way in.
I'm going to hold Patulo accountable. He's coming up here. 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, Middays with Marks on 97.5, The Fanatic. A programming reminder. Our first remote broadcast. Ray Dunn, I believe you're going to be out there with me. Have you been informed?
I have been informed. I got the email and everything.
Next Tuesday in Springfield, Delaware County. Rally House. John and Ray are going to be at Rally House. That's right, 10 to 2, Rally House in Springfield. I feel like I'm an OG Rally House person because the one up in Collegeville, you know where I'm talking about, up in the shopping center.
A lot of Christmas gifts bought there.
Dude, they have such great stuff. And I remember one year early on, B-Doc had a signing up there. They used to get big signings up there. I think they still do. But people would always ask me, like, where'd you get that Eagles hoodie from? Like, Rally House. Like, what's Rally House? Now they're all over the place.
They opened one on Temple's campus.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And what was, I think, an old Walgreens or something? I was shocked. I was like, you got Rally House here? When I graduate, you get a Rally House, get an extra restaurant. You know,
right. After I went to Temple, they got, like, a restaurant. It wasn't just food trucks that we had to go to. They had bathrooms. Yeah. No, the Leacourt Center was there. Now, if they could just get a basketball team to play in the Leacourt Center, that would be awesome.
Stop it.
So next Tuesday, we're going to be in Delco, and we're going to debut the game show that's going to sweep the nation. Delco or Del No?
Oh.
It's been, again, it's in the cooker. I've had it in the gut. There's so many. I've been waiting years for these ideas. So what a better place to start the game show, Delco or Del No, than in Delco. Springfield Rally House. See you next Tuesday. So come on out and say hi to us. All right? All right. As we hear Kevin Patulo squirm coming up here in a few minutes, let's go to Tyree in Northeast Philadelphia. Tyree, what's happening?
What's going on, Johnny Marks?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, Ray? How you feeling, man? I ain't seen you in a long time, man. I remember coming up there and winning a couple gift cards from you back in the day.
I probably haven't thought about you since I left here, but I remember you now. You're one of the top callers of the station. What's up?
I've always tried to be, man. Listen, I don't like. Let me get to the point with the whole A.J. Brown thing. I don't like. I look at it and I see this with wide receivers all the time. It's like, oh, they're divas and they compete. They're on islands by themselves. Like, you know, the biggest prima donna that everybody supposedly says is a prima donna is Deion Sanders. He was a cornerback. He talked the talk, but he walked it too. So, like, you got guys like A.J. Brown is top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. He wants to compete. I don't look at it, you know, I said it to the producer. After the Super Bowl, Devontae Smith said something that might not have been along the lines of how A.J. Brown went on Twitter and put it like, I want to dominate and all that. Devontae Smith said the same thing on a podcast where he was like, yo, it was cool winning the Super Bowl, but, like, I still want to show people who I really am. Like, we put these guys out on islands, and then when they want the ball, like I remember Des Bryant a couple years ago, it was 10, 11 years ago, they're up 24-6 to Detroit, and he's on the sideline ranting because they started losing the lead, and all he said was, there's no way we should lose this game. The media killed him the next week, and I was like, he didn't say nothing wrong. They were up 18 points at halftime. Like, you shouldn't lose games. And my biggest concern, like, I'm not like, oh, Patulo doesn't know what he's doing and all that. We're the number one red zone offense in the NFL right now. The first game we played, we scored on our first 3 drives. Like, I get it. It doesn't look creative. I don't like the sticks combination or the stick routes when it's, 3rd and 6, just running to the sticks. It does have to get a little bit more creative. But the guys coach 4 games. Like, we're 4-0. Last year, I was in New Orleans twice last year. Week 3, when we were, we could have went to 1-2, and then the following week we lost to the Bucks. We didn't know what we were week 4. Like, we were like, what are we doing? We just lost to the Bucks and Baker Mayfield, and then we go on this magical run. Like, and that was Kellen Moore's first season. Like, and I remember last year, people run the ball. Yeah, we get all that, but you got to give these guys some time.
Tyree, they've beat 3 playoff teams so far this year. And they beat the Cowboys that possibly could be a playoff team, right? Like that has a lot of talented pieces on the team. So this isn't. Yeah. You're right. They beat the Saints last year, and at the time people thought the Saints were good. They weren't. They beat the Browns. Like this is a tough part of their schedule. They just went 4-0. So being that you were able to go 4-0 and people still aren't satisfied, that's awesome.
Well, you know what the funny thing about the Browns is, and I say this to people all the time. Who's the Browns D coordinator?
Schwartz.
Okay. Championship caliber defensive coordinator, right?
Good defense.
Who they just beat 2 weeks ago? Like,
Packers.
When you have, this is the thing. When people don't talk about, everybody just wants to hear the number one names, the quarterbacks. We only talk about the sexy positions, the skill positions. We're in Philadelphia, we're degenerates. And I said this to people about the Rams. Literally, I was not even mad at the Rams game because I said to somebody, I said to my cousin, you can't keep beating up on a good team like the Rams. The Rams have won 9 of their last 12 games. It just so happened. And then Matt Stafford, Super Bowl winning quarterback, Kyron Williams.
They have talent. They have talent, and they're physical in the line of scrimmage too. There are no pushovers. Neither are the Bucs, by the way.
Listen, Puka Nacua. I said it both times we beat them last year. Puka Nacua had 100 yards. The guy's that good. Yeah. He's really that good. Like, everybody, and it's crazy with our secondary. Oh, they're not that good. They're not that good. Look at the level of talent they have to go up against. And you got a Puka Nacua. Like last year was Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Kupp had 60 or 70 yards on 8 catches. Puka Nacua had like 10 or 11 catches for 120 yards. Yep. They're just, listen, Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett in that game this year, they were on his back. They had their hand in between, and he's still catching the ball because he's getting paid to be that good. Like, sometimes other teams is good. Like, I always say that to people when another team makes a play against us. I go, them guys are out there trying to make millions too, right?
They are. Tyree, I got to run, but appreciate it. Because, and I have so much more to say on all of this, but speaking of the offense, Kevin Patulo is coming up next. The questions will be asked. What is going on with A.J. Brown? What's going on with the offense? What's going on with Jalen Hurts? What's going on with you, Patulo? That's coming up next. He will be forced to answer. He doesn't have to give good answers, but he'll be forced to answer. That's coming up right after this. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Second half struggles. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles, of course, improving to 4-0 on Sunday with the 31-25 win over the Buccaneers. But the conversation following the game, a lot about the tweet from A.J. Brown, a lot from that second half, the struggles that this team had offensively, not completing a single pass. And on Monday, Nick Sirianni met with the media and had to address those struggles.
We were really successful in the first half and wasn't as successful in the second half. We had some plays that moved backwards, which again was kind of some of the things that happened in the previous game. So again, need to be explosive, need to protect the football, and need to be efficient.
Coming up next, we will have Kevin Patulo addressing the media. He will have to address what happened in that second half of the offense. We'll also get a chance to talk to Philly Voice's Jeff Mosher coming up at 12:55 about the Eagles and what he saw in that game on Sunday. Wild Card Series gets started today with the Dodgers and Reds matched up for a 3-game set starting tonight at 9 o'clock. The winner of that series will come to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday for the start of the NLDS. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Every game.
Yesterday against the Bucks, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough from yesterday because everybody just wants to point the finger and say the offense sucks, Kevin Patulo sucks, all right? That is a very difficult place to win. The Eagles know that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are among the best 6 to 8 teams in the NFL, and they are a physical, and they are a good team. That is a playoff team. And that is a team that wants to go blow to blow, blow for blow with you. And they're not afraid to do that. And they very easily could have packed it in. They didn't. And they came out swinging in the second half. The Eagles' game plan and their offense in the first half yesterday, they came out, they were awesome. They had the umbrellas, the shades, or whatever they had. They were prepared because they saw what happened in previous years. And they said, we're not going to go down there and we're not going to let that happen again. Very smart by the Eagles to go down there and what they did. And you know what happened? In the second half, the Bucs made adjustments, and the Eagles, I think, were slow to adjust offensively, and it just seemed like that they were exhausted. And as the game went on, they had some injuries. They had guys that were cramping up. And give the Buccaneers credit. They made adjustments. You're playing against another team. It's not supposed to be easy for the entire game. And the Bucs made adjustments. And they came out, and they really gave it to the Eagles in the second half. A couple fluky long plays, but still. So that was a really, really good win by the Eagles yesterday.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
yesterday against the Bucks, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough. Middays with Marks, that's me, John Marks. Jeff Mosher is going to join us a little bit before 1 o'clock, 12:55. So my understanding is Mosher, he goes in the lab with cigarettes and coffee, and he watches the film over and over and over again, and he makes notes, he takes notes, and he emerges, and he comes immediately on the show. Is that correct?
That's basically how it's been described to me.
Yes.
That's the way I want to believe it, at least.
So he will have every insight from the Eagles game that you could imagine, including what we're going to hear from Kevin Patulo in a second. What the hell's going on with the offense? And, I think the tough thing from a fan's perspective, and, I mean, even the media, is, what exactly is going on? Is this play calling? Is this scheme? Is this quarterback? Why when they struggle, they really struggle? So Mosher with insight on that coming up at about 12:55. I can't wait to talk to Jeff. Is he there? All right. Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patulo at the podium. Here it is.
What went wrong in the second half against Tampa, from your perspective?
Yeah, so the second half, I mean, when you look at the game as a whole, we started off the game like we wanted to. We had good pace, good rhythm. We got it going. And I think really sometimes when you evaluate games after the fact, there's obviously things we want to work on to get better, and we know we can be critical of as a staff, that we know we can continue to improve. So I think stepping out of it and looking at it, there were some things, I felt like at times we were just trying to do what we kind of wanted to. And looking back, I think there's some things we can change as far as how we want to approach that situation. But really, it just comes down to just learning from each situation. We've had very unique games to this point, and so I think it's been good to go through that. Early in the season, we've played really, really good defenses, and we've had to adjust accordingly, whether it's second half, whether it's come out in the first half and do different things to try to throw them off. And so I think really it's been a good learning process for us early now, as a coaching staff and players to kind of continue to grow as an offense.
How do you approach your communication with A.J. Brown and handling his perspective?
A.J. and I have a great relationship just throughout the years, being here. We spent a lot of time together. So, as far as communication and getting to him, him and I have had no problem. And I know where, his heart is, where he lies. He wants to win, so he feels like he can do everything and anything to help us at all times. So, as far as I'm concerned, him and I are in a good spot.
There's been a lot of focus on the kind of routes AJ has run this year. Are you using him differently than you have in past years? And do you agree with, some of the criticism that he's running the same route a lot?
I think at times, if you look through the first 4 games, he's been doing some different stuff. And sometimes, we've talked about it before, sometimes the ball finds him and sometimes it doesn't, So going into every game, you plan on making sure he's the primary and moving around and doing stuff for him. And if it doesn't go his way, that means usually we're on rhythm or something good's happening and Jalen's reading it out and it's going to other guys, and that can happen. So I think when you go into it, you just want to make sure hey, he's the guy, we're going through him, and if it happens, it happens, and you just don't want to really force it.
Through the quarter of the season, what would you say your offensive identity is?
I think, similar to last year, early in seasons, you're trying to figure out, first you're trying to do what you have to do to win the game, right? And we've played 4 teams, arguably, if you looked at last year, you would say, okay, the Chiefs was a tough test for us. The Rams was a tough test twice last year. And then this past week, obviously Tampa, throughout the history against Tampa, it's not been easy down there, right? It's been tough. So we've had our moments against them. So I think you're trying to do everything you can independently within those game plans to win the game. And so when you're doing that, you're trying to feel your way through it. Okay, last week it was this week it was that. And so I think we're starting to feel some things that we have kind of going that's kind of flowed throughout a few games now. And so I think it's just building on that, because each defense in each week presents something totally new. And this week we're playing another really good defense, top tier, really good front rushers. The secondary is good. So I think there's some things we've learned that okay, this is a little different than last year, or we're kind of continuing on this path, so let's push this a little bit. But I think you just got to look at each game independently, and then you start to see patterns as you start to build throughout the season. And it's great that it's happening now, and not later. And we're playing these tough defenses now to kind of figure this out as we go.
Going back to the second half, it looked like they ran a more simulated pressure in the second half. Do you think that was part of the issue?
I wouldn't say that was the issue. We couldn't get out of first down, and obviously that starts with us as a staff to try to make sure we're more productive on first down and just kind of go from there. I wouldn't say there's anything that they did to us necessarily that was totally different or out of line with what Todd likes to do. we just got caught in situations where he could start to do the things that he likes to do. And in the first half, we were able to not really encounter that because we were on the attack and we got in a good mood to where we were just kind of moving the ball in a good flow.
What's your concern level over the running game through 4 games?
It's funny. I know a lot of the guys have talked about it too. We've been so close on so many runs, and I still think we're still trying to feel our way out, as far as who we are. Each game, especially this first 4, right? We have so much history with these teams, so they know our personnel. They know a lot of things that we've done in the past, so you're trying to feel out like, okay, this has been good against them in the past. Is it still? Do we need to do things new? So I think there's still a feeling out process, and we've been really close. Stout does an unbelievable job with the O-line. The guys are so good on game day about communication with me. Saquon's been unbelievable, and I know they're wanting it to happen so bad, but at the same time, we just don't want to. You don't want to force it because you don't want to have like, okay, we got to hit some home runs. But at times when we need to run it, we've done a decent job of picking up yards in critical moments. It happened the other day in a few spots where we kind of needed some yards. We ran the ball a little bit. It happened, throughout the second half. We needed some yards in the Rams game just because we were on the ball so much. So I think when we need it, we've had it. We just got to continue to look at, okay, where is this going, and what it looks different, right? Each year looks different. So I think that's a piece of it too.
You look at the last couple of games. What do you make of the stark difference from half to half in each of them?
Yeah, so obviously the Rams game, right? First half didn't go what we want. In the second half, we were able to do things differently and get it going. And then the Buccaneers game was the opposite, right? We got off to a hot start. We were in a good pace with the offense, a good rhythm, and it was flowing, and things were just kind of happening as we kind of anticipated and the way we wanted to put the pressure on them. And the second half, we just got off rhythm, right? And so when you get off rhythm, you're kind of searching for that play to kind of get the spark and get back in phase, and we just didn't really get back in phase.
Are there buttons in that? Sorry, Tim. Are there buttons in when you're off rhythm that you can push that you like to lean on, and why weren't?
And I think that's part of the process we're going through, right? As a staff and as a team throughout this first 4 games, is finding what that is. Like I said, there's some things that we know a little bit, like, okay, this is starting to pop up that we know we're excelling at a little bit, and so I think as we go, we'll start to figure out that more.
What's it like managing so many high-end players? You have Devontae and you have AJ and you have Dallas and you have Saquon, and not all teams around the league have that, which obviously is largely a good thing, but also there are some residual effects, I guess, if somebody's not involved the way that they want to be. What is that like from where you sit?
So I think, first of all, like you said, it's a great problem, right? Because some teams don't have what we have. So it is a great problem. And really, the guys have been great with me. I've been around here for a while, so obviously I know them a little bit differently, but they all want to win, and that's the number one thing. They all want to win. They'll do anything for the team to win. So, whether it's somebody's getting the ball, somebody's not, when you watch it at times, there's guys being excited for other guys when they're making plays, and that's all we can really ask for is just like, hey, we all want to win. We're on the same page. We know it may be different from play to play or from game to game, but we want to win.
Gavin, I'm looking at that contribution as a former passing game coordinator and wide receiver coach. Is there something inherent about the wide receiver position where it's dependent on targets to contribute, where it makes it a little bit different to manage?
That is a very unique position, right? Coaching both quarterbacks and receivers and being around those guys.
All right,
for a
Ray,
long
you can bring it
time.
down. I don't need it. That's Kevin Patulo. I don't need any more of this. It was worth trying because we could see if he was going to say anything, but he's done a good job in not saying anything. So we'll see if he says something. I don't need it.
Don't worry, him and AJ Brown have a good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do. It's great. I wanted to read this is from Uncle Jamie, a text on AJ Brown. He says, AJ's highly emotional, intelligent, and very introspective. He doesn't get pleasure. Once he accomplishes the goal, he struggles continually with the level of excellence that he puts on himself. He wrote about that after the high of winning the Super Bowl. 2 hours afterwards, he was completely done with it, almost sad. Yeah, he's like, I don't see AJ Brown, and I think this is how a lot of people are looking at him, and when he puts that tweet out there, this is how it's treated, is he's the diva wide receiver that can't help himself, and why did he put that out there and just shut the bleep up? It's just going to cause problems and everything else, to where AJ is a different dude, and he's in a – remember the whole emotional intelligence type thing, and Jeffrey Lurie's looking for a coach with emotional intelligence or whatever. Not every wide receiver is the same. Not every NFL player is the same. T.O. was a total lunatic, an amazing talent, a total lunatic, right? Like, AJ's different than anything that we've seen here before, and I think it all comes from a good place. But the idea that AJ Brown, and I get it, he didn't have to put the tweet out, and it's created a story out of it. But we had a couple callers today that called in, and it was like, he's always complaining, he's never happy. When did that happen? When is he always complaining and he's never happy? When has he said all these things publicly? He hasn't. What he does is he puts something out there to where then people, like unfortunately with what Brandon said last year and how he talked about the passing game. But when you get out of the emotional aspect of it, and you say, okay, they said, what's wrong with the offense? And he said the passing game. He didn't say Jalen Hurts. He said the passing game. He's a part of the passing game. So he may mean Jalen Hurts is the problem, but he's not saying it. 610-632-0975. Herb from Northeast Phillies on the line. We may speak to him on the other side. Also, Kyle Brandt of Good Morning Football. He gave a timeline for when he waits to see teams evolve. Can we wait as long as he does? I'm going to say no because people are already annoyed at a 4-0 team. But we'll hear what Kyle has to say right after this. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider Update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Talking tweets. I'm Ray Dunn with this Birds Insider Update. We, of course, have been talking about all day and throughout the last 2 days, the cryptic tweet from A.J. Brown following the Birds' win over the Buccaneers 31-25 on Sunday that moved the Eagles to 4-0 on the season. Yesterday, Nick Sirianni got a chance to meet with the media and was asked about it right away.
Obviously, A.J. is very important to this football team. I know he wants to contribute and, do the things that he's capable of doing, but he wants to contribute into these wins. And he's had a couple games where he hasn't been able to, and for different reasons of why we haven't in these games. But I question nothing about his desire to play great football, his desire of being a good teammate, his desire to be here.
Outside of the A.J. Brown conversation, of course, the passing offense, a big feature right now for the Birds on what they need to get better at. On the other side of the football, Keely Ringo got the start at corner today. Vic Fangio said that he was pleased with the way Ringo played in that game. Also mentioned he feels like this team right now is good at edge rusher despite putting 2 on injured reserve in the last 2 weeks.
I think we're good with what we have. The numbers are dwindling, and if we need more, I'm sure Howie will get something done.
We'll see if they do anything in that edge rusher room. I'm Ray Dunn with this Birds Insider Update on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
We're trying to build something special here. That we're trying to do things differently here. That we don't have to do the clickbait and the rage bait. That we want to try to do sports talk that actually provides value to the listener. And we try to do that every single day on this show. But it expands a lot further than just this show. This is a movement that we are trying to bring across 97.5 The Fanatic. So when we say the words make the switch, we're not only talking to you, the listeners. We're not only talking to you, the viewers. We're talking to the talent out there, too. Because we want everybody in this city to make the switch to real sports talk right here at 97.5 The Fanatic. And it is my honor to tell you the next person to make the switch, Johnny Marks. Hey! My man! Right there? Johnny Marks bringing him back home to 97.5 The Fanatic. How many years has it been, my brother?
9 years next month was my last day at the Fanatic. October of 2016.
Nice. Man, oh, man.
He's
Ricky
back.
Bo, Johnny Marks in the house.
Yeah,
He's back. Psyched to have you on, pal.
It's kind of surreal walking in here today and seeing a lot of the faces that I knew from many years ago, and a lot of new faces as well. And I am like, it's crazy, man. I can't believe that I'm back. I'm back. I'm ready to go. Ricky, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years since I've worked full time. I've been working very part time the last couple of years. So you know what that means? I have a lot of energy and I'm broke. So I need to get back to work.
He's hungry.
You're ready to go. That's what it's about.
He's hungry. And when you say you're back, you are taking over middays here at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Finally got rid of that Ray Dunn.
Oh, overnight. I'm working overnight. So Middays with Marks is the name of the show. Ray Dunn will be my full-time producer and sidekick, and we're going to have co-hosts. Middays with Marks starts on Monday.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Keller.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Of teams in that what looks good and you have to win with style points. You know what's better than winning with style points? Winning with actual points. Guys, if we're coming down the home stretch right now and it's week 16, I might have some concerns about the Eagles. They look ripe for the pickings. It's not even October yet. We haven't even got out the boxes of Halloween decorations yet. It's 4-0. Just period, stack, period, wins, period. The time to get better and the time to look impressive and the time to evolve is after Thanksgiving. That is 2 months from now.
That's Kyle Brandel, Good Morning Football. I agree. And it also, if this was a team that doesn't have a track record, then I think it's a different conversation. They have a track record. They just won the Super Bowl. What are we talking about? Is it sustainable? With another team, it would look a little, or I would consider saying, you know what? Little bit fluky. All right? Do you know the Eagles have been outgained in all 4 games this season? Ray Dunn?
Mm-hmm.
So they're the second team over the past 90 years to start 4-0 and get outgained in all 4 games. You know the other team? Probably not.
I was going to say, don't tell me it's the 2023 Eagles.
It's not. It's the 2012 Cardinals. Started 4-0. They finished 5-11. So they won 1 game after starting 4-0. That was the Ken Wisenhunt Cardinals team. So like the fact that they're getting outgained in every game. That's not how you want to continue to play, obviously. But this isn't a team that started 4-0 and hasn't been there before, and you can look at them and say, okay, well, like, this isn't sustainable. They need to change things. Week 5, home against the Broncos this Sunday. Win or loss, Ray Dunn.
Win.
At the Giants with Jackson Dart and Scatterbo.
Win.
At the Vikings with Carson Wentz or maybe that bum McCarthy.
Oh, Wentz is the one in that sentence that isn't the bum. That's really good for them. Win.
Well, we already know that Wentz is. Vikings do have a good defense.
They do.
At least I think they do. And then home against the Giants week 8.
Win.
And then they've week 9 bye. This team is going to be 8-0. And so they've won 20 of 21. They're going to have won 24 of 25 games. So, like, style points or whatever else, you can't be lucky 24 out of 25 games. There's something to what the Eagles are doing. Right done.
There's a credit to what they've already accomplished. I will say it's sustainable for the next month, mostly because what I see in front of them in the next month, I feel very comfortable with them beating. But if we get to Thanksgiving and we haven't seen this team evolve, you would have to imagine that it's going to be an exhausting 7 or 8 weeks for us sitting here and watching this team.
It is. It'll be fun, too, from our perspective.
It'll be fun from our perspective. But like, he says Thanksgiving. And also, I disagree with him. Everyone I know that is in a relationship, living with their significant other, the Halloween box have already come out. The fall decorations are already up. We've already gotten to that point. Nobody waits till October anymore. They've been doing pumpkin spice lattes for like 3 weeks at this point.
Do you know when we do Christmas at our house? When the Halloween decorations come down.
Right. Nobody waits.
No, I was ridiculed for putting up the Christmas decorations in early November.
Oh, that's a justifiable ridicule.
Okay, I mean, listen, it makes my wife happy, it makes my kids happy.
Right. I understand
That's
why
why I
you
do
do it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to stand in front of your kids and say, "Hey, I hope you enjoy Christmas."
But the criticism is that it's too early. We're like, honestly, we put up the fall. We didn't do the Halloween yet. I'm not a big Halloween guy. I don't need to see.
Why?
I don't need this. Well, I mean, it's fine, but I don't need pumpkins up for the next month. 2 weeks, yeah. 3 weeks.
So how do you differentiate the fall and the Halloween?
Fall is just leaves and like pumpkin spice lattes and stuff all over the place. No, it's not. It's not the. Sometimes the Halloween stuff is a little bit campy, and you know what I mean. A little bit obnoxious. Like I have a Halloween blow up, and I have a light that shines on the house, and has like.
Oh, okay. I can understand not having that out yet.
Stuff that goes in the front yard in the trees. I don't want anything to do with that.
But the spooky season theme stuff is out.
It's not. Well, yeah, it is. I dropped my daughter off with my in-laws. They had all their Halloween stuff up. Right. No, we wait a couple weeks.
Okay, so for you, he's speaking to you on that one, Kyle Brandt. I don't know if Kyle Brandt's speaking to the majority of people. I think the Halloween boxes, if they're not unpacked, they're out. People are looking at them like, I got to.
It's almost October.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost October.
I said it was one thing I disagree with him. Well, and the Thanksgiving thing, that timeline is a little late for a team to evolve.
Well, I mean, I take that he's saying that if you haven't figured it out by Thanksgiving, you're not going to figure it out.
Right.
And the good thing with the Eagles is they're going to have so many wins that are already locked up, but it doesn't mean anything. I've seen teams. Remember the Steelers? I don't know how many years ago it is now, but the Steelers were undefeated through maybe 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember watching them being, this is not a good team, and they're not going to do anything. And they didn't. I remember the Chiefs also. They might have started off 8-0 or 10-0, and this is before Andy Reid, I think. And this isn't a very good team. So let's see where the Eagles are after starting 8-0. They just won the Super Bowl, so it's going to be a little bit different with a team that has already proven that they can win it. But right now, I agree with what Kyle Brandt was just saying, is that right now it's just about just win the games. And I can't stress this enough. They've beaten 3 playoff teams, including the Chiefs on the road, the Buccaneers on the road, and a Rams team that came in there. And here's another thing with the Rams. I do not want to face the Rams in the playoffs again. The Eagles have beaten them too many times, and there's too much revenge. And they've been close with the Eagles a couple times. These are impressive wins. I don't know why nobody else seems impressed with the Eagles' start to the season but me. But I'm fine with it. I'll stand on an island right now.
That's okay. I mean, it's a good island to be on. The island in which you're impressed with the Eagles. That's a good life to live.
Are you not impressed with the Eagles?
Oh, yeah, I'm impressed with the fact that we keep talking about wins. I watched the first half of that Rams game. I planned an entire show about a loss. I was like, oh, great. Well, I know what tomorrow's going to be about. That Buccaneers game, I will say, I didn't have the same concern level as everyone in the room with just how they built the lead. I don't know if I was just delusional at that point. I just kind of assumed they were going to pull that one out with the way they got up early.
Well, they needed to, even being up 8, I still felt like hell. But when you look at it, the Bucs needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie. So it's not like it was a 2-point game and they needed a field goal. So yeah, you're right. But it's just like the momentum had switched so much. It was just very painful. And when you don't have a completion, it's a very difficult half to watch. 2 70-yard completions for touchdowns. Coming up, Jeff Mosher. Packs of cigarettes, pots of coffee, inside the Birds in Philly voice. He breaks down the Birds. He has viewed the game film. He gives us his insights next, right here. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Second half struggles. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Birds won, and a lot of people talking about how They could have fallen because of those second half struggles against the Buccaneers on Sunday. They win 31-25. Of course, our conversation following the 4-0 start is what's going on with that offense and what went on in that second half. Nick Sirianni addressed yesterday. The media talked about that second half.
We were really successful in the first half and wasn't as successful as second half. We had some plays that moved backwards, which again was kind of some of the things that happened in the previous game. So again, need to be explosive, need to protect the football, and need to be efficient.
Today, you got a chance to hear from both coordinators. Vic Fangio talking about his defense, was not pleased with some of the rookie play in the mistakes that were made in that second half, but overall was pleased with Ringo. Talked about that edge rusher room, felt like that they are good despite putting 2 players on injured reserve over the last week. Patulo addressed that offense as well. We'll continue to react to it throughout the day. Coming up next, Jeff Mosher going to break down the Birds at 12:55. And the Wild Card Series gets started today in Major League Baseball. Dodgers Reds at 9 o'clock. Winner of that series gets the Phillies. This update is brought to you by Dell Technologies. Dell AI PCs are newly designed to help you do more faster. That's powered Dell AI, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. I'm Ray Dunn for 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Philadelphia 76ers. Will this be the season they stay healthy and make a push toward the top of the Eastern Conference? Every game, home and away, is here. Philadelphia's radio home for Sixers basketball. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Did you know that many couples who come to Benari Jewelers end up spending less than they had budgeted for that engagement ring? It's not because they compromised or settled. It's because they were properly educated on how to choose a diamond the way a dealer does it. They learned the secrets of the industry and were taught how to maximize value. You see, every diamond is unique, and when you're able to look at multiple stones in your price range, you can choose the characteristics that are most important to you. Is it color, or carat size, or is it a particular cut? If you can't see the difference between a $10,000 diamond and a $15,000 one, why spend more? The experts at Benari will walk you through the process and give you the knowledge and expertise you need, empowering you to make the smartest decision. You see, at Benari, after 50 years, we're not here to make a quick buck. We're here to make a customer a friend for life, with trust and transparency, and with a respect for you and your budget. Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. Online at BenariJewelers.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will
Brown decided after a game, one of 53 players, he decided to say, I'm going to make this all about me. I'm going to put out the cryptic tweet. I'm going to make this a thing. And the thing is, I sort of understand where his frustration's coming from.
Quote, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Now, let's talk about this, because I'm with you. A.J. Brown should be doing more, and I'm not saying he should be doing more. The offense should tailor more to A.J. Brown.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you are going to believe in the messaging, then shrug your shoulders and move on. Don't post on social media. This is like a nurse or a doctor telling you to stop smoking, and then they go outside after your appointment for a cigarette break.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid. So why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
While, we have you here, you're not naive to the conversation following last season and the way that everyone, the frustrations around this city following the team last season. If you had the opportunity to address the fan base the way you have right now, where, you're live on the radio, what would you want to say to the fans of this city and the people of this city as it relates to the upcoming season?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, man, one, we appreciate you guys.
We are back middays with Marks on 97.5 Fanatic. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. We have a lot of comments on YouTube. I don't check it out during the show because I don't want to be affected by mean people out there because I know sometimes it can be a cesspool.
Oh, I'm affected by the jokes being made, not at anyone's expense here specifically, but they are a very funny group, so I will be following the chat all the time.
So it's a good chat.
Yeah, it's a good chat. No, I enjoy the chat.
It is pretty cool that you create this group of people that everybody gets to know each other and everything else because they're watching the show every day and everything else. You are listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. As joining us for the first time, man, this dude knows a lot about the Eagles. Inside the Birds and the Phillies voice, he has broken down the film of the Eagles, and he gives us his insight. His name is Jeff Mosher. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Honey, good to hear you back on the airways, my friend, in the place where you belong. How are you?
What's up, man? How you been?
It's been a while. I've been good. I've been all right.
Good.
I'm watching some Eagles football, so, I want to pull my eyes out, like everybody else.
All right, so that's the $1 million question is what? Because, they look bad for a half, they look great for a half. They look great for a half, they look bad for a half. But when they look bad, man, they really, really look bad. Now you have AJ's mad and everything else. So, what do you see when you watch the film? When you see bad Eagles offense, what is it that's going on?
Yeah, so sometimes games are different, but I think in the first 4 weeks, even when things are going well offensively, for example, everybody saw the first half there against the Bucs, but Jalen Hurts got a majority of his passing yards on about 3 plays, just like Baker Mayfield did with the 2 shot plays. So I think when the Eagles are at their best, I know, John, when they're at their best and they have more consistency with their passing offense, it's because of 2 things. One, they have a very good rushing offense to work off of it, which we saw all last year with Saquon Barkley. And 2, there's a rhythm to the play calling and the execution and a sequencing, meaning you're running a play on first down to set up what you want to do on second down. You're running a play on second down, then to third, and then you're also doing that so that later in the game you can run a play against the same look, just from a different direction or for different personnel but different formation, where everything seems coordinated and deliberate. And right now, the Eagles are not getting a running game at all. We all see that. But even in their passing game, they're getting shot plays, but not the consistent type of marches down the field all the time that first down sets up second down and second and third. We see it in spurts.
Right.
They came out against the Bucs and ran a really nice first opening possession drive there, which you did see it. But altogether for the 4 weeks, there is not a good marriage of pass to run game and even pass concept to pass concept.
A.J. Brown, and he's going to speak tomorrow, but he appears upset in what's going on with the passing offense. It sure seemed like they were forcing the ball to him in the second half. They got him the ball against the Rams, and he was very effective, ends up having over 100 yards. what specifically is it too predictable with the passing offense? Or are they just where, like you had said, they're playing everything off of the run. So if you can't run the ball, they're so elementary in what they're doing in the passing game, it becomes predictable.
Yeah, I mean, I know we want to go back to sort of that 2023 outlook where they were quote-unquote stale and predictable, and then what happened? Brian Johnson got fired, and then Kellen Moore got hired, and he was supposed to bring fresh, new concepts to the offense. And yes, the Eagles go and win a Super Bowl, but I think we all know, you go look back, their offense was not different last year. In the beginning of the year, you tried to see Kellen Moore implement some of his Kellen Moore background as far as going under center more and trying to work play action, using motion, misdirection. You saw a little bit of that. But then by the end of the year, just like the year before, they went back to doing what they've basically done. And their pass concepts are the same, shot play down the sideline to either A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, quick comebacks, quick in-breakers on third down to A.J. Brown, whether it's a slant or a dig. They don't run a real complex offense, and they cater the offense to the strengths of their personnel, and that's what they've done for 3 years now. And generally, they've won 20 of 21 games. So I don't think that's as much of an issue as it is they're not getting the explosives in the run game that last year complemented their sort of inconsistent pass game. And that, we can talk about that. That, what I saw on tape against the Bucs, Johnny, was I saw about 5 or 6 runs that either went for 0 or minus yards, and on 3 or 4 of them, there was a different lineman missing a block. Right. And, one being Landon Dickerson, one being Cam Jurgens. We know those guys are coming off of injuries. There were a couple of times I felt like they ran into an 8-man front with either 6 or 7 blockers, and maybe the play should have been changed. But that's clearly, to me, the biggest difference from last year to this year. It's not the pass offense. Pass offense has always been this inconsistent and gone through these throws of 120 to 140 yards, and then next thing you know, they'll have like a big game or a big half. It's the rushing offense that is really not the same.
Yeah, and you're right, Kellen Moore came in because you need an offensive guy. He needs to come in with the system. And then pretty quickly, probably after 4 or 5 games, it went back to being the Jalen Hurts offense, which is this is our personnel. Right. We're at our best when you're playing off the run. I felt like last year the Eagles were at their best when Jalen threw the ball 25 times a game. 25, 28 times a game. Saquon's going off. But the offensive line play isn't the same this year. When you look, and you just talked about it right there, Landon Dickerson either doesn't look healthy or he's just not having a good year. But I see penetration in the backfield, especially in the interior. You saw a lot of that against the Buccaneers. Is the line play just not the same that it was last year?
Yeah, and I don't want to cherry pick one play to say, because I hate when people do that and put it on social media. Like, they're great because of this or they stink because of that. But there was a play that I will reference that I think is a little bit of a microcosm. There was an inside zone run, which is what they do. That's their normal, probably run 70% of their offense. And, the Jurgens, the center, he double teams with the left guard on the defensive tackle. And then he's kind of going up to the second level to try to block the linebacker. I think his name is Servatsier Dennis. And Dennis is shooting the gap as most linebackers. They try to get around the center's block as the center is climbing to the second level. And usually, at his best, Cam Jurgens, who is supposed to sort of be a mini-me clone of Kelsey, can actually turn around, turn while he's climbing up the second level and angle block that linebacker out. Well, in this particular play I watched, he did it. He couldn't say he just didn't get around in time. And again, I'm not trying to cherry pick one play and say, oh, Cam Jurgens is no longer good. But I do wonder if the back surgery has taken away a little bit of his, or at least early on as he's working his way back. Is he not as flexible? Is his movements not as sudden as they used to be? Because this is a backbone play of the Eagles offense where you get that center getting up to the linebacker and being able to twist his body to make sure he can still block the linebacker coming downhill. And that was an example, and I think there have been some other runs earlier. I remember seeing where Jurgens hasn't made a block, and the same thing with Dickerson. He allowed an inside pressure, and he's coming off not just 1 but 2 surgeries since the start of the Super Bowl. So I'm not a doctor, John. I'm thinking as the season goes on, you hope these guys get healthier and adjust to the procedures that they're coming off. And that's the case more so than they're just not the same caliber of player that they were because of these surgeries.
I saw you right that right now maybe less would be more with Saquon Barkley. Explain.
Well, so I noticed, I was trying to look for trends because it stuck out to me that Josh Jacobs of the Packers is also way behind his totals and averages from last year, and those guys were top 5 in workload as far as touches last year, and they are again top 5 in touches this year. And, if you look at some of the other guys who had heavy workloads last year, Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, somebody else's name, Bijan Robinson, they're not top 5. Their backups are getting a little bit more run, whether it's Algier in Atlanta, right, or with Robinson, or now Blake Corum, as we all saw, is getting more opportunities to give Kyron Williams a break. But the Eagles are still giving the ball a lot to Saquon, and the Packers are still giving the ball a lot to Josh Jacobs. And, teams have spent all off season trying to figure out how to stop these guys because they had such good years. So you've got A.J. Dillon, you have Will Shipley for a reason. Maybe in just the research that I saw there, maybe it's a good idea to help spring your running game by just getting the ball to a different guy. It's a different look from the defense. You maybe even run them on a different run design just to switch things up so that every defense is not keyed on when Saquon has the ball all the time.
Yeah, I actually agree with you 100%. It's predictable. Saquon's in there on first down. I think they've been doing this too much. It seems like that what's coming, and teams are selling out to try to stop it.
And there was this thought process, John, and I was part of it, that maybe if the Eagles just pass the ball better, that Saquon Barkley will find more openings. But if you go look at the second half of the Rams game and the first half of the Bucs game, I mean, you can't throw the ball better, right? 15-16 in the first half of the Bucs game. But Saquon's averages per run in the second half of Rams' first half for Bucs is 2.8. It's worse than his season average, which is already lower. So clearly a better, more efficient, more functional passing game has still not led to more success for Saquon.
All right, quickly, last thing. Is there a reason for concern right now? Is this something that is typical of teams through 4 games in the NFL season, and they'll come along and they'll get out of it?
As far as overall or offensively?
Offense.
Or just
offensively.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I'm a little concerned about the offensive line. I think if you were to have a concern, that would be the one, because the running game really has to get going to be a complement to what the passing game is. I don't think the pass game is going to change. It is what it is. We just talked about that. But it'll be hot sometimes, cold other times. But the running game, in order for this team to be more like last year, really has to get going at some point. And you hope that the offensive line can figure that out.
Jeff Mosher, check him out inside the Birds and the Philly Voice. He's going to join us every Tuesday at this time. Really looking forward to the rest of the season, Jeff. Great stuff as always, man. Good to talk to you.
Hey, me too, John. Thanks for having me, and congrats again.
Oh,
Good to hear you back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Thanks, Jeff Mosher. Known Mosher for a long time. Great, always great stuff. All right, coming up. Is Herb still on the line? Oh man, Herb's Jones in the Talk Phillies. And he's also a run-first guy in football. He likes the fullback dives. Herb will get to also, coming up, the evolution of the field goal. I am anti-field goal now. Changes need to be made, damn it. And last night in Monday Night Football, that's all coming up next. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. You have 4 really, really good wins. I don't know what else to say. This hasn't been an easy 4 weeks. If this would have been, well, they beat the Browns. All right. Oh, well, they beat the Giants with Russell Wilson as quarterback. All right. They played a bunch of bottom feeders. Okay, then I'd be like, you know what? You're not going to beat the good teams like this. You're not. They just beat the good teams. They just beat the Rams that had every reason to come in here with revenge on their minds, a physical team, a good team. They just beat the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So to act like that this 4-0 start isn't impressive, this is a very impressive 4-0 start. And if you're looking at it, oh, but you can't do this the whole season. You're not going to be able to win games like this. They just won games like this all last season. I heard the same thing last year. But look at the record. Look at the other teams, the good teams in the NFL. Who are the good teams? The Ravens. Uh-oh. They got smoked by the Chiefs. The Chiefs. In some of the years that they've won Super Bowls, you're not going to come out and click on offense every year, every quarter, every half. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you can't demand more from your offensive coordinator, from your offense. But realistically, man, I feel great. I'm back on the Fanatic. Middays with Marks. Everything's good. I have as much confidence in them winning a World Series as I guess I could possibly have because it's tricky. We've seen the Phillies 2 years ago go from historic hitting, and then the last couple games against the Diamondbacks, they couldn't hit anything. And they ended up losing a series. They couldn't win a game at home to go to the World Series, right? So outside of that, I'm as confident as I can be. The Phillies have as good of a chance to win a World Series this year as anybody in baseball. I couldn't feel any better about the Phillies than I do right now. And that doesn't mean like I'm overly confident. Let me put my chest out. Phillies are winning the World Series. I felt like that about the Eagles this year. Last year, I don't feel like that about the Phillies right now. But it's best case scenario. It's like, yeah, the Phillies are a good team. Let's see what happens in October. It's tough.
Yeah, best case, I guess, in terms of what you believe internally, I don't think they got the best path of what they have just because the Dodgers obviously sit there in a 5-game series against you, and the Reds' sneaky good pitching staff. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about them hitting off of you, but I could see that staff giving you problems in the postseason. I would have loved what the Brewers have waiting for them, one of the Cubs or the Padres, just given I don't think they've played their best baseball as of late. The Reds kind of snuck their way in, and maybe there's something there with the team from the NL Central that sneaks its way in late in the playoff picture that I have PTSD going back to 2011. But best case in the way I feel about the group.
All right, we're back. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fact. Breathe in, breathe out. See, these are all instrumentals, which is cool. But on very short notice, Matt was given the task of getting some production and some music on or whatever, and it's really, really very professional job by him. So I appreciate it. We're gonna have to get some more personality into some of the things here. But I appreciate it. Speaking of personality, Herb from Northeast Philly joins us right now. We have how long do we have in this segment? 6 minutes?
About 6 minutes.
Herb, can you wait, man? 'Cause I gotta talk about this field goal thing. All right.
We're getting a rare form, Herb.
Yes. Well, that's always Herb. So I have grown to hate the field goal. Anybody out there with me? This is maybe something good for the text board. 610-632-0975. I've grown to hate the field goal. Because you can take a lead with 30 seconds left to go in a game, and if you're not up by 3 points or more, you're probably going to lose the game. Because you get the kickoff, and then the kickoff comes out because with the new kickoff rules, the ball's usually starting at the 35-yard line. All you need is one completion, and kickers in today's NFL can good. Right? We saw it in the game against Tampa. Their kicker had 2 long kicks. So, Ray Dunn, I went back and this was before 6 o'clock this morning. I did some research. All right? How many field goals would you guess that have been made from 50 yards plus so far this year? So in 4 games, 4 weeks in the NFL, how many field goals have been made from 50 yards plus so far this year?
All right, 4 weeks, 16 games a week. So that gets us to, let's say, 21.
50.
What?
46 for 61 from 50 yards plus, 4 for 7 from 60. There have been 68 attempted field goals. 50 have been made over 50 yards. 50. Now, in the 80s, if you had a kicker, it is long ago now, but the Eagles had a kicker when I was growing up, Tony Franklin, that didn't have a shoe. Literally, they had the barefoot kicker with the one bar on the helmet. Like they no foot, no shoe. What are you doing? And then you had the toe kicker. I remember Mark Mosley was probably the last toe kicker, and you would kick with the toe. Wasn't even a soccer style kicker. Like Tom Dempsey was the guy that had half a foot that kicked the long field goal. Somebody Dempsey. And then but now it seems like everybody has a kicker that can kick it from 65 yards. In 2015, for the entire season, how many 50-plus yard field goals do you believe were made for the entire season, Ray Dunn?
112.
No. Incorrect. Lower.
81.
How about 52?
We're almost there.
10 years ago, 52 field goals, 50 yards or more were made. They were 52 of 95 for 54.7%. So it's not at a high percentage, and they weren't even being attempted. I mean, if you think about it, David Akers had one of the biggest legs in the league when he first came up with the Eagles. Do you remember David Akers' first role with the Eagles? Ray Dunn, you probably don't because you were a year old.
Yeah,
too.
I was a year old. You were probably right about that.
He did the kickoffs. They actually had a roster spot for a guy that just did the kickoffs.
Kickoff specialist.
So you had, I think it was, I don't know who it was like a Gary Anderson type, a guy that was only good from 42 yards and in. And then Akers took a couple of long field goals, and he did the kickoffs. Well, if you can't kick at 55 yards or more anymore, you're not even in this league. Jake Elliott he's got a big leg. I don't think he's doing 70-yard kicks. There's guys like, who was it? I don't know if it was the Eagles game or it was another game that I was watching because it happens all the time. Was it a Monday night game? Anyway, it would have been good from 75. It was like a 60-some yard kick that was easily good from 70-plus. So, and I hate it. So here's what I'm proposing, Ray Dunn. They need to take the goalpost and cut them in half. You need to make them narrow. It's too easy. Games shouldn't be decided because these kickers are able to kick 70-yard field goals. They just shouldn't. It's too easy. The kickers have become too good. It's become too easy. It's like in baseball. Baseball went to hell when everybody hit a home run or struck out or walked. All these nerds, the Ivy League nerds that became GMs, they got really good at it because they figured out a formula that you can win with. So baseball had to step in to make sure there was more action in the game, and it really helped the game. It has. You have to cut the goalpost in half. It's too easy. I hate it. I hate that everybody can make a 65-yard kick.
I also think that has something to do with the rules that they made this year with the kicking balls, which I still don't really understand because they just kind of threw that in there as a little anecdote during one of the broadcasts. So it's like, hey, this was a new rule this year. This might change kicking, and then we've seen what it's done to kicking this year, where I guess you can actually work with the ball you're going to kick before the game where you weren't able to do it before because you had to submit it like 2.5 hours before.
So you can be Tom Brady and you can...
Right, exactly. So I think in their little push for more points, we're seeing them juice the kicking numbers here. But even on top of that, I go back to the touchback rule and this whole new kicking format. I get it. You're getting more returns. I was generation group with Devin Hester. That was great.
Yeah.
I love a good kick return. But starting at the 35 is brutal. I mean, you're giving these defenses very little shot to stop you before you're in any sort of field goal range.
Yeah, but I think that's good for offense. I don't like more field goals. I want less field goals. I don't need you go down, you drive, touchdown, 30 seconds left, they take a 2-point lead. And then one throw puts the other team in field goal range. No.
But if you're attempting those longer kicks, you get those kicks blocked and you get some of the entertainment that we've seen.
That's true, because there's been a ton of block kicks.
And I've enjoyed
week.
that. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, but if you take the goalposts and you put them in half, like the Arena League had those really skinny goalposts?
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Because you're right. It's interesting. There's been block kicks for touchdowns. We saw it here. There's been block kicks every week.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's too easy. You got to, if the goalpost, I had it. Did I not write it down? I had it before. I was looking it up. Just cut it in half. I think it's 18 feet wide. Goalposts, NFL. I know in high school they're much wider. They are 18 feet 6 inches, 9 feet 3 inches. Literally cut it in half. Make it more difficult because I still want them to try it from the length. I just don't want it to be that easy. It's too easy. Temple's own McManus.
Mm-hmm.
Was he got in trouble? McManus, was he bad in the flight?
There was some alleged trouble last year for McManus.
Typical Temple guy.
Not true. Not at all true on that one.
But he was one of the he had the big leg, and he was when he came into the league. It's like wow, that guy.
He was in Denver,
right? He was in Denver, so you can make 80-yard kicks because you're in Denver. Right? I appreciate the big leg. It shouldn't be that easy. These guys are too precise and they're too good. Done. Maybe hate the field goal. It's bad. So you don't like the kickoff rule? I love the kickoff.
No, I hate it. 35-yard, like, give me a break.
So you would rather have every single kickoff is in the end zone, touchback, bring it out to the 20?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
it's boring.
I don't watch football for the kickoff returns. It's a nice wrinkle to have in the game, but no offense to all those, 3 phases of the game people. You got to focus on special teams, all that. I don't watch because I'm like, ooh, what's the kickoff? Like, they trade for Tank Bigsby and he can return kicks.
But there's more action. If you have a good, you had mentioned from the Bears before, Devin Hester. If now you're looking in the draft.
Well, yeah, and then that game against the Rams, they can't field the knuckleball they're now kicking at you. Like, if I wanted to go watch people fumble around trying to pick up a football, there's plenty of games around the Delaware Valley that I go to youth-wise and go watch that. I don't watch professionals watch them struggle at trying to pick up a football.
You don't enjoy that?
No, it's not why I tune into the NFL.
Coming up, Herb from Northeast Philly has the answers for what ails the Eagles offense right now, and he'll give them to you. Also, we'll go around the league a little bit, talk about the NFL from Week 4 and Monday Night Football reaction last night. We actually have an update from on Tyreek Hill. He had a bad injury last night. That's all coming up. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Talking tweets, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles improved to 4-0 on Sunday, but talk on Mondays. Around a cryptic tweet from A.J. Brown after the game. The team, of course, didn't complete a pass in the second half. The top 2 receivers finished 4 catches for 36 yards in the win over the Buccaneers. Sirianni was asked Monday about the tweet and Brown's desire to still be a Bird.
He wants to contribute into these wins, and he's had a couple games where he hasn't been able to, and for different reasons of why we haven't in these games. But I question nothing about his desire to play great football, his desire of being a good teammate, his desire to be here.
We spoke to Inside the Birds and Philly Voices' Jeff Mosher earlier on in the show about everything going on with the Eagles. You catch that conversation one more time on our website and the Fanatic app. The Wild Card Series got started today with the Dodgers and Reds lining up tonight for a best-of-3 series starting at 9 o'clock. The winner of that series will come to Citizens Bank Park on Saturday for the start of the NLDS. This update is brought to you by the Harlem Globetrotters. This just isn't a game. It's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Come be a part of the legacy that never stops. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Yesterday against the Bucs, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough from yesterday because everybody just wants to point the finger and say the offense sucks, Kevin Patulo sucks, all right? That is a very difficult place to win. The Eagles know that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are among the best 6 to 8 teams in the NFL, and they are a physical, and they are a good team. That is a playoff team. And that is a team that wants to go blow to blow, blow for blow with you. And they're not afraid to do that. And they very easily could have packed it in. They didn't. And they came out swinging in the second half. The Eagles' game plan and their offense in the first half yesterday, they came out, they were awesome. They had the umbrellas, the shades, or whatever they had. They were prepared because they saw what happened in previous years. And they said, we're not going to go down there and we're not going to let that happen again. Very smart by the Eagles to go down there and what they did. And you know what happened? In the second half, the Bucs made adjustments, and the Eagles, I think, were slow to adjust offensively, and it just seemed like that they were exhausted. And as the game went on, they had some injuries, they had guys that were cramping up, and give the Buccaneers credit. They made adjustments. You're playing against another team. It's not supposed to be easy for the entire game. And the Bucs made adjustments. And they came out and they really gave it to the Eagles in the second half. A couple fluky long plays, but still. So that was a really, really good win by the Eagles yesterday.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Yesterday against the Bucs, and this is what I think people aren't talking about enough from yesterday because everybody just wants to point the finger and say the offense sucks, Kevin Patulo sucks, all right? That is a very difficult place to win. The Eagles know that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are among the best 6 to 8 teams in the NFL, and they are a physical, and they are a good team. That is a playoff team. And that is a team that wants to go blow to blow, blow for blow with you. And they're not afraid to do that. And they very easily could have packed it in. They didn't. And they came out swinging in the second half. The Eagles' game plan and their offense. We're back. Middays with Marks. The boys are in the house, unfiltered. Bill, Ricky Bo, and Silvana. It's just not the boys. The boys and Silvana. She keeps them in order. Right there. They're coming up at 2 o'clock. Herb from Northeast Philly joins us. Herb, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Johnny Marks? All right, let's get down to business. As far as the Phillies go, they have to score runs, okay? And they're going to have to...
Hang on. Let me see. Go ahead. Score runs. All right, go ahead.
They're going to have to swing at pitches in the zone, in their zone. Stop swinging at pitches down below your knees, below your ankles. They know what the strike zone is. If they do that, okay, they'll put the ball in play. They'll get a lot of hits. They'll get a lot of home runs, whatever, okay? Enough to get them through this series coming up, okay?
Could be the Dodgers, though, Herb.
This team is ready to do it. Okay, they got the closer. Okay, he should come in the game with 2, 3, 4 runs ahead. He shouldn't have to be coming in with a 1-run lead. If they hit the ball the way I'm talking about, okay, get walks instead of strikeouts. They'll be fine. Okay. As far as
who would you hold on? Who would you start in the out? Who would your starting outfield be, Herb?
The kid, what's his name in center?
Marsh.
I mean, they're going to go by
Bader.
Rob Thompson been going by. Bader's okay. They're going to go with lefty righty. Whatever it is, they're going to. They're going to go with a right-handed hitting lineup. When it's a lefty pitcher, they're going to go with a left-handed hitting lineup. They might have Bader in there for most of the games, but I mean, he's been doing pretty good. But
all right, well, Herb, listen, we have time. We have time before the Phillies start. We need to know what you think. How do you fix the Eagles' offense right now, Herb?
All right, the Eagles' problem is on first down. They're not getting enough yards. They need to get 4 or 5 yards on first down. So either Jalen, you roll out of the pocket, throw to the tight end, a short pass, or a wide receiver. You got to roll out, and that's what you got to do. Okay, they got 5, 6 guys up in the box.
Right.
Maybe they need to change the running back. Maybe Saquon needs to sit down on a few series or on first down. Maybe they need to bring another guy in and see Shipley or A.J. Dillon and see what they do. I mean, on one or 2 plays. But they can't be in 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 14.
I agree.
They gotta be at second and 5, 2nd and 6, 2nd and
you're making too much sense today, Herb.
They gotta get the yards. They gotta pick the yards up.
Are you eating lunch somewhere?
No, I'm getting ready to get my hair cut down. I was in Newtown and now I'm down in Ben Salem. I'm at John's Barbershop.
Nikki doesn't cut your hair anymore?
No, she got a lot of problems. That girl. They moved out of that place.
Oh, they did.
She
All right.
She overextended. Somebody told me she was going to be a cop or something. That's what I heard, but I don't know what the deal was.
Get your freshie, all right? Thank you, Herb. Get your freshie. I actually think what he was saying, Ray, tell me if you agree with this. They're too predictable in first down.
Way too predictable on first down.
It's like, all right, we're gonna because like literally they were trying to keep it so simple that all they were trying to do, and it was effective for them a lot last year, was get it to 2nd and 7. Even if it's 2nd and 7, then if you get it to 3rd and 3, you're getting a first down, and you're methodically going down the field. If you get it to 3rd and 2, they're gonna get a first down because they're gonna get a yard, then they're gonna get another yard, right? Unfortunately, teams know this, so they're saying you're not going to get it to 2nd and 7. It's going to be 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 9. And the last place you want to be if you're the Eagles is 2nd and 9, especially when you're not throwing the ball well. And that's what you've seen when they're not moving the ball, it's because they're at 2nd and long. And I'm telling you, Jalen Hurts' confidence, when you see him as a confident quarterback, man, he is throwing the ball downfield. He's not thinking about it. It just feels like right now he's not trusting his protection. He's looking at the rush a little bit, and he's not able to play off the run because the run's not working. Period. And that's not a great place for the Eagles to be right now. Last night, were you watching any of the Monday night games last night?
Unfortunately, yes.
Horrible football.
Terrible football. It's amazing to have a doubleheader on Monday night and miss on both.
Yeah, so the second game, which I still don't understand why they just don't have a true doubleheader, because you're watching one game and then you're switching to another because they're both going on at the same time. So I have fantasy implications in one game, the first game. I have betting implications in the second. So now I'm going back and forth, and both games were, I mean, talk about terrible. The amount of penalties in that second game in the Broncos and the Bengals is terrible. It was the worst. Now, you're expecting Joe Burrow when you book that game.
Right.
And you don't have Joe Burrow. And that was the easiest cover in the world for the Broncos. But the Broncos who are coming in here next Sunday, they're hardly impressive either. Bo Nix looked pretty good last night, but still, they were that was a sloppy game.
They haven't given me the feel of a team that, like, when I look at the teams in the weight class of the Eagles, they're below. They're not significantly below, but like that level of, you could probably win double-digit games, but someone will teach you what it's like to be a real good team in the first round of the postseason.
No, they're significantly below. They're a wild card contending team.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to be 8-0.
Right.
7-1 worst case. 7-1, because you never know in the NFL. Week-to-week league.
I'm just wondering who gets them. Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, who would be the one of those 4 teams? I know that we shouldn't get all chesty and confident, and, it has been interesting to watch over the first 4 weeks the way they found a way to win, but, like, that Broncos team is probably your best competition until the bye. And they're coming in off a short week, making the trip to Philadelphia.
So, Broncos, like you said, every intangible doesn't help the Broncos. Short week, they got to fly across the country. Following week, Thursday Night Football, short week, but the Eagles don't have to travel. They're going from home to New York. They'll take the bus up there. Is the Vikings a sneaky? I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. Is that a sneaky trap game? But it's before the Giants, and then it's the bye week. Then you have the Giants at home.
Are the Giants the trap game?
Might be.
Just get me to the bye.
Well, Neighbors is out, which isn't good. Jackson Dart's got something to him, and I already hate him. And I can't imagine that the Giants are going to beat the Eagles, but it is a division game. I don't know.
Well, if you're concerned about offensive line play, it's the front four for the Giants that could get you. That's what Justin Herbert learned last week.
They do have a good pass. Yeah, they have a really good pass rush.
That's the only reason they could catch you. And it's hard to imagine them just sweeping all the way through the NFC East. You probably can chalk up 18 as a loss because I don't think 18 is going to mean a lot to you. They play the Commanders week 18.
They play the Commanders on the December 20th, and then the last game of the season, January 4th. So those games may not mean, especially the last game of the season, may not mean anything.
If you take care of business in week 16, it's hard to imagine it meaning anything for you in week 18.
The Cowboys are the 23rd. That's not Thanksgiving, right?
No, that's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they don't have Thanksgiving.
No, they're Black Friday. Chicago Bears.
That's right.
3 o'clock.
November 28th.
Yeah.
Woo. Thank God it's not earlier. We'd be on the air or maybe on the air for that. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, like when you look at the schedule post-bye, so we said, all right, most likely, or they're going to be favored in all these games, 8-0, at the Packers, and is that a Monday or a Sunday night game? That's a primetime game. Home against the Lions, that's a primetime game. That's not going to be easy. So it's Monday night against the Packers, home against the Lions on Sunday night, at the Cowboys. That's a tough stretch right there. At the Packers, home against the Lions, at the Cowboys. Then you have the Black Friday game against the Bears. You're at the Chargers. So that's a tough stretch right there. That is a tough stretch right there.
We're going to use the G word for that? We're going to get the gauntlet out again?
To me, it's not a gauntlet. The gauntlet. Remember they made it through the gauntlet and they were fine, and then they lost. The season blew up after that?
Yeah.
It was after the gauntlet.
How do you get through the gauntlet? Everything. It was my favorite word. We used the word gauntlet more in that season than it's been used since the 1800s.
That was the last time gauntlet has been used that much in Philadelphia.
Correct.
Since the Battle of Crooked Billet in Hatboro, Pennsylvania during the Civil War. Coming up. Oh, we were complaining about the bullpen for the Phillies earlier in the show. Is there relief? Is there a reliever that's coming off the injured list that could potentially help the Phillies get back to the World Series? We'll tell you who we're talking about coming up right after this. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic's Andrew DiCecco, the Philadelphia Inquirer's Jeff McClain, and ESPN's Tim McManus. The best Eagles minds in the city, keeping you informed with all the...
We're trying to build something special here. That we're trying to do things differently here. That we don't have to do the clickbait and the rage bait. That we want to try to do sports talk that actually provides value to the listener. And we try to do that every single day on this show. But it expands a lot further than just this show. This is a movement that we are trying to bring across 97.5 The Fanatic. So when we say the words make the switch, we're not only talking to you, the listeners. We're not only talking to you, the viewers. We're talking to the talent out there, too. Because we want everybody in this city to make the switch to real sports talk right here at 97.5 The Fanatic. And it is my honor to tell you the next person to make the switch, Johnny Marks.
Hey!
My
Is
man.
this on right there?
Johnny Marks bringing him back home to 97.5 The Fanatic. How many years has it been, my brother?
9 years next month was my last day at the Fanatic. October of 2016.
Nice. Man, oh, man.
He's
Ricky
back.
Bo, Johnny Marks in the house.
Yeah.
He's back. Psyched to have you on, pal.
It's kind of surreal walking in here today and seeing a lot of the faces that I knew from many years ago, and a lot of new faces as well. And I am like, it's crazy, man. I can't believe that I'm back. I'm back. I'm ready to go. Ricky, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years since I've worked full time. I've been working very part time the last couple of years. So you know what that means? I have a lot of energy and I'm broke. So I need to get back to work.
He's hungry.
So you're ready to go. That's what it's about.
He's hungry. And when you say you're back, you are taking over middays here at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Finally got rid of that Ray Dunn.
Oh, overnight. I'm working overnight. So Middays with Marks is the name of the show. Ray Dunn will be my full-time producer and sidekick, and we're going to have co-hosts. Middays with Marks starts on Monday.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we're back. Middays with Marks. This is something I'm going to have to work on because let's pull back the curtain a little bit. Our break times are on this show and the station are shorter than typically what I'm used to. So I have a clock in my head to know when I'm going to be coming back from break. Typically, that clock is a different clock than I'm working with right now. So I'm back there talking to Bill and Ricky. And I hear, John, you're coming back. And it's like, oh, well, like, before it wouldn't matter because I'm just on radio. But now with YouTube, there's a blank chair and I'm running in. And
yeah, I usually have fun with the drop board. I'm giving you a first week grace. Usually I'd have fun at the expense with the hello.
No, you can definitely do
tardiness, those stuff. Yeah, no. Again, first week grace here. I'm letting you develop that timing in your head. You don't give NFL quarterback level timing to someone that's just getting right there. This is like the first start for you with these breaks.
What's a good soundboard to go to?
Alvord had a good one. I always liked his, but it was a lot. There was a lot there.
This is there's too much because I saw that one. It's like I can't even see what it is.
Yeah, you had to get used to that one. I mean, I'm biased towards the MM ones that we have here that we worked with before because it was my drop board.
So just so everybody knows out there, I would say, I don't know the percentage, but many of these drops I actually put in myself some 10 to 15 years ago.
Yes, there are still some John Marks labeled drops here.
Like this one.
Yeah.
Bernie from Broomall.
A lot of ones that made the transition from, we went Zeta to wide orbit or wherever. Yeah. Yes, that's you. It was always funny looking up.
Correct.
All the Bernie ones.
What?
Yep. I discovered Bernie. Rest in peace, Bernie from Broomall. Was Bernie around with you? I don't remember when he passed.
No, I think he passed just about when I started at the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie came in. He came in when we were 950, Sports Talk 950, 2006. I don't even know how he came in. And he brought us a bunch of sandwiches. He came in at night. He brought us a bunch of sandwiches, and he made all these flowers out of toilet paper and paper towel rolls, empty paper towel rolls. And at the time, I was like, well, who the hell is this guy? But he was like a nice old guy that loved radio or whatever. Little did I know, a few years later, he'd become an international superstar on the Mike Missinelli show. Okay, I do like this. I do like this one right here. All right, cool.
What board are we looking at with that one?
I'm on the MM1.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the MM1, MM2 also.
MM2 has some good ones?
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. This is from me.
I'm embarrassed.
Yep. I don't remember what that was from.
I think it was the tie, right? Was that from the tie discourse where he was embarrassed that he didn't know?
But he never admitted that he was embarrassed. He said that he wasn't embarrassed. He's like, I didn't know.
Maybe it wasn't then.
I know.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
I put that one on there. I don't remember. What is that from? Is that from I think that was from the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. He's up on the stage, hyping everyone up. Pro Bowl MVP, Nick Foles for you.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
Before he was the Super Bowl MVP.
Oh man, that's awesome. I was wondering if some of the old school callers still called in, like Vicente from Lansdowne. Does he still call in?
Si, senor.
I haven't
heard from Vicente.
Vicente call in. Does Lee from Allentown call in anymore?
Not heard from Lee.
Yeah, he wasn't around at the end of my tenure. He had stopped calling in. But I had a theme song for him and everything. If you type in Lee from Allentown in there, you may find it. It was a Price is Right song to one of their pricing games. I have an unlimited catalog of Price is Right songs. They're called Q's. I don't know what else is there. But Lee from Allentown. I mean, there was a lot of Arthur, if he's not in prison. There it is. So that still isn't it. And we would introduce him. Lee from Allentown, Lee. And he'd go, hello. Very nice gentleman, Lee. And we would keep it up in the background a little bit there. All right, there you go. All right, so we got to get to this, even though people probably like the drops more. So if you were worried about the bullpen, listen, Ricky Bo said it, Cole LaRullo said it, Ray Dun said it, and I said it. My biggest concern with the Phillies, and of course you're worried about the freaking bats going cold because we've seen it before, but it's the bullpen. Man, I just wish they had one more veteran reliever with elite stuff that could get swings and misses. Well, they do have a veteran reliever, and in his career, he's gotten swings and misses. And he's just been activated from the injured list. The Phillies today activated Jordan Romano from the injured list. Along with Jose Alvarado. And I would not expect him to be on the playoff roster. I guess he could. So, he activated both of them from the injured list. And technically, he could come back and he could pitch for the Phillies in the postseason.
So, obviously, sounds insane to say he's going to be on the postseason roster. I don't think he's going to be on the postseason roster. But if you wanted to build the case in this regard, do you really, on the NLDS roster, need all of Nola, Walker, and Buehler?
Yeah. The Buehler's going to actually, my buddy Vince texted me earlier, and he's like, Buehler's going to be your sixth inning guy.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be, I agree, he's going to come out of the bullpen, and he will be one of those guys kind of in that middle area.
He'll be your piggyback guy. If Nola can only give you 4 innings, I think he pitches the 5th.
Well, again, I don't think you're going to see Nola in this series.
Well, not this series, but if they make it to when they make it to the next series.
But that's what I'm saying. In the NLDS roster, instead of rostering 3 guys who can kind of give you bulk, 1 that would be your starter and 2 that would be bulk guys behind him, one of those 3 guys could be left off for someone who's an inning guy. Again, I don't think this is Jordan Romano. I'm not making the case for Romano to be on the roster. But instead of having Nola, Walker, and Buehler, do you leave off probably Walker in exchange for someone that's more of a prototypical reliever?
Yeah, who?
Well, that would be the only case where they get
Max
to like
Lazar. He's not making
Lazar's
money.
sanity's over. All right, we're out of Lazar's sanity. That's done. That's finished. We had a nice run there. It was fun. He's not making the roster. Like they brought in Trevino. Does Trevino make it over Walker? Again, you're talking about 26 men here. We're not exactly talking about who's going to be pitching in the high leverage spot to win it.
I know, but still, like they're choosing an arm over a bat if they do that. So the expectation is one of these guys is going to pitch.
There's also one of those. Like you could do the 14 hitters, but now Rojas, the news came out today that he would not be ready.
Correct.
So if he's not going to be ready, I don't think there's anyone else you would think about rostering as an extra bat here. And people that hear me call him a bat, they're going to laugh there. But he was only there for the defense and running. But
yeah, but to your point, I honestly haven't looked close enough to what the roster is going to look like because the wild cards start today. So we don't have to worry about that till Saturday. I guess tomorrow, Thursday, we can really start digging in that.
Oh, we could break down the 26.
All right, what's the odds? That's what we do. What are the odds that Romano makes the postseason roster?
If I had to give it a percentage, probably 0. Probably
it's funny to me too.
I was trying to give him something there, and it's just nothing.
Oh, this wasn't me, but
love it.
Good old Kapler.
I had a Kapler, a separate Kapler soundboard. I had so many Kapler drops. This is one of my favorites. Outright. A Mike miss outright. Doc Rivers also had an underrated soundboard. I had a Doc Rivers soundboard as well.
It's a dumbass question.
Yeah.
I have to say, our best in terms of the sport, Sirianni has done a tremendous job of building himself because he's current in putting himself as the best on the soundboard. Rivers, I think, still outpaces anyone with the 76ers right now in terms of good sound. I'm curious.
You don't know basketball.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is... We don't even have...
like it or not.
Would you ask Pop that question on this soundboard? And it's already 3 all-time Rivers quotes.
There's a ton of them. And they're versatile, too.
And there's one now that's going to be entering the competition for me for Sixers this year that I don't know how I'm working it in here. But we are going to figure out a way from Media Day.
Sexy as hell.
VJ Edgecombe saying sexy as hell when talking about the uniforms. I don't know how it's going to work its way into the drop board, but I'm excited to make it a part of the drop.
And he said that to you.
Sexy as hell.
Probably. I mean, I was sitting right there. He looked right at me.
He was talking to you, like we said earlier. All the Cougars out there in the Delaware Valley that are like, man,
hey,
who's this Ray Dun?
I'm pro an older woman, so. Again, I gave out the personal Instagram. I gave out the personal Instagram earlier.
All right, and speaking of that, yeah, so DMs are open for Ray. Done. All right, be careful.
I'll be careful. Don't worry.
Be careful. Yeah, so day 2 is in the books. Did you book Jason Worth for tomorrow on the program?
Yeah, Jason Worth tomorrow around 11 o'clock.
Are we talking horse racing or baseball or both?
Baseball, but we will throw in a mention of the horse racing. I think part of the reason why he wants to talk with us is let everyone know what he's up to as well.
It is fat. It is really cool that he's now like this horse owner.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing a ton. He's now like regarded as professional in that regard.
He's the best. All right, guys are coming up next. We will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks to Nate, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
Now on 97.5 The Fan.
We're trying to build something special here. That we're trying to do things differently here. That we don't have to do the clickbait and the rage bait